Check 1 2. Check 1 2. All right. Getting ready. What up, Mood Spin Sound? What's going on? Getting ready, getting ready. So give me one more minute and then we can get started. Yes, indeed. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. What's going on, yo? Let me get my stream elements up in here and let me get this out the way. Because we are now starting. Man, that's a lot of light. That's a lot of light right there. I might adjust that a little bit later. I don't need that much light, I think. Well, let me just change that a little bit. Yeah, a little bit warmer. Kind of like that. Cool. Can always change that later. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to Share the Knowledge Live. Oh, I cannot see the chat like this. That's not smart. Let me move to this window. My name is DJ TLM, the last Mohican, broadcasting live from Amsterdam City, Amsterdam, the Netherlands. This is my Q&A live session, so any DJ-related questions are welcome. And I've already received a lot of questions through IG, so we can definitely get into those questions and whatever else we can come up with while we're here. That's basically it. So Mood Spin was early. Mood Spin Sound. DJ D-Boy 5. What's going on? We got Chris in the building. And we got Squad. SQ Squad, that is. And from Periscope, we got DJ Redbeard. And on YouTube, I see I Am Digital, Michael Stevens, DJ Waves, Prince Kleinkohl. What's up? What's up? And oh, did I get you off the Jazzy Jeff live stream? This is well, if it's not good enough, you can always jump back, right? Or what you can also do, because this is not music, put Jeff on Periscope and use that as your soundtrack in the background while we talk shop over here. We can talk shop and listen to music. I mean, normally I put on a little beat in the background. I might actually still do that because that is what currently is missing right now. So I'm going to add that while we're at it. Jarv, what's going on? Thank you. Nev Dog, what's going on? Heina, what's up? The boy, what's up? Logo Bless, what's up? All right. Yeah, Jeff is streaming a lot as well. He's always doing his thing. Let me get this in here and connected. My Bluetooth on. Let me just get that on. Oh, it is on. Okay, good. My Rodecaster already sees it. Nice. And let me set this up somewhere. I'm kind of limited in my space today, but this should work. Let's see. We'll check. Do I have audio? Okay, I have audio. That's just not the right beat. All right, I'm going to pull up my phone and have get my IG in here. I can check those questions. Right. We're good. There we go. That's also an option. The boy is playing World of Warcraft and at the same time listening to Share the Knowledge. That's the thing, man. This is one of those things you can do with something else in the background, or you switch it up and you do something else and you listen to this in the background. Boskar, what's going on? Oh, this is kind of wobbly when I touch the desk. Okay, I'm not going to touch the desk. Lloyd Reynolds, Saf1 Sid, what's going on? What's going on? Salute to all of you. Let me just scroll up for a second just to see if I haven't missed anyone. Of course, I saw Ms. Rivales in here as well. And I think I got most of y'all. All right, so I got Restream here, but I got you guys with different questions on there. Wait a minute, why am I only seeing YouTube on screen there? Is Restream only sending the YouTube posts to the screen? Well, it doesn't really matter. I have my Restream here so I can see everything. But it's kind of crazy that I don't see everything there. Still using the Newmark S7 first generation. You mean the NS7? I still have mine too, yeah. And remember, you also had the V7s. Those were like the independent players, but also with the moving platter. I knew one DJ over here who had those. I played on them once. It's basically the same thing as using the NS7, but yeah, that was kind of cool too. All right, let me pull up IG and get to that right topic. There we go. Pull that up, have that in here as well. I saw a lot of questions where I'm being asked for my opinion between different software, different hardware. I will get into that as well, but I don't think it's the most important thing because a lot of times that all depends on your own opinion. But we can definitely talk about that as well. Okay, I'm gonna get this one in here so I can get my OBS in here as well. That's gonna be my best indication to know when and if my cam goes into its little freeze mode. Cool. Let me just start with one of these questions here. So the first one, just because I said I get a lot of questions about comparing hardware. So the first question was Reloop or Rain 12. Now, which Reloop are we talking about? I guess I'm gonna assume, which I don't like to do, but in this case I will. The question is Reloop, the RP8000 Mark II, because that's the turntables that I've been using for my last, I don't know how many streams, for a lot of the streams, or Rain 12. I would have to say Reloop, the RP8000 Mark II, for the simple fact that I will prefer a turntable over the Rain 12, not even because of the feeling, even though there might still be a slight difference, but simply for the fact that if you have a Rain 12, you can only use it as a controller. You cannot play vinyl. and maybe you notice that there is a little bit of vinyl right there. I don't use it a lot, but I want to have that option. So look, I'm in a privileged position where I have multiple pieces of hardware, so I don't have to make that choice. I have the Rain 12, and I also have these reloops here right now, and I have VL12s as well, so I don't have to make that choice, luckily. But if I would have to choose, I would choose turntables over Rain 12s because of my vinyl collection. Now, if you don't have a vinyl collection, that's a different story. If you never plan on buying vinyl, but you want to have the turntable feel, then Rain 12s could be a nice option as well. But like I've been saying this a lot, for me, the perfect combo right now would always be turntables with phase. Best of both worlds. I have turntables. If I need vinyl, I can use it. But whenever I play with DVS, phase, and I'm good to go. So that is my preference right there. Now, second question was Rain 70 or Pioneer DJM S11. Now, I've never used the Rain 70, but still without any hesitation, I can say S11. Just talking about me. So that's nothing bad. There's nothing bad that I've seen about the Rain 70, but I have a 72 and I really like that screen, and the 70 is like a 72 without a screen. I would see that as a step backwards. S9 is my favorite mixer, but if a S9 would have a screen, I would think it would be even doper. There you have the S11. So for me, that's how I can look at it and see, okay, what are the pros and cons for me? And for me, that will be the S11, 100%. All right, so then there's another question, and it is the same realm, I guess. It is Reloop RP 8000 Mark II or Technics Mark 7. So I assume the SL 1200 Mark 7. I would say the Reloop RP 8000 Mark II. Even if price is not an option, even if I could just choose, so I don't have to pay and I can choose the Reloop or the Technics, I'm going to go with the Reloop for the simple fact, functionality-wise, they can do so much more than a normal turntable. With all the MIDI functionality that is on board, you can't really compare it to a turntable that is just a turntable. The RP 8000 Mark II is just so much more. It is a turntable, but it also allows me to control Serato. Just imagine if I was playing with like an older mixer without all of the performance pads and stuff like that, and I want to do DVS, I can just control it from the RP 8000. I can browse, I can use cue points, I can do a lot. So yeah, that will be my choice. I'm gonna, for a second here, kill this incense that I have going because it is beginning to become a little bit too much. Wanted to add a little bit of flavor. You don't want to overdo it. All right, so I think that's it as far as the comparison questions that I received here. And I will get to the questions on screen. Or actually, let me just go through some of the questions on screen first and then go back to my IG list, because experience has taught us that I tend to talk and miss a lot of questions. So if you're new here, keep that in mind. I'm not looking at my screen the entire time to see the questions, especially when I'm answering questions. So while that happens, I will miss out on some stuff. And if you feel like just posting your question again, if we're like 15 or 20 minutes ahead, just do that. And the main man, thanks for following. I needed to mention that as well. All right, so let me just take some questions off the screen here. What do we have? My opinion about the XDJ XZ. I've never played with it, so I can't really comment on it too much. That is one that I do want to actually try. But right now, I mean, it looks like a beast, as far as I remember, as a beast with a lot of options. But I have no experience playing with that. All right, let's scroll on. What's going on here? questions yet. All right, favorite DJ pool. That question comes up a lot, actually. And I'm very simple with that. I always name the same two, and that's the two that I'm using right now, DJ City and Beat Junkies. I'm actually not using Beat Junkies right now. I need to resubscribe soon, but I've used them for quite a while. And DJ City. I mean, I work there. I have the access, and they have a lot of dope stuff. And for me, it's also I haven't found that I'm missing out not using more DJ pools. So for me right now, it's perfectly fine. Combine that with what I can do with, for instance, BeatSource Link and streaming, and Tidal and streaming, and SoundCloud and streaming through my DJ software. That basically covers all my needs for now. For me. Not done yet. Knowledge is free until it becomes a job. I just wanted to say that. You would have to elaborate. Let me know exactly, because knowledge is still free. And for instance, let me take myself as an example. Once I release my DJ course and I sell that course, yes, that course will cost. At the same time, I'm also still delivering free knowledge. So explain how you mean that. I'm interested to hear that. All right, next up. How do you feel about the Phase firmware V6 with Serato integration? Did they release it? Did I miss that release? Because that's the release I've been kind of waiting for. So you caught me off guard there, or hasn't it been released yet? Look, I think what Phase is doing is incredible. To me, it's the biggest game changer in the last decade. And they're really catching up. They're adding a lot of updates, trying to perfect it, make it better, improve every time. I'm personally one of the DJs who hasn't had issues with Phase, but I know a lot of DJs did in the beginning. As far as I can tell, they've gotten rid of a lot of issues that were there. They announced that Phase, that Serato integration quite a while ago, and I'm waiting for that. So if that is now the case, okay, it's in a private beta right now, then I need to get on my email right after this this session and get in on that action. So I'll be talking about that next week. That is most likely what's going to happen. All right. What up, Shiva? Salute. All the way from Houston. And DJ One Stop, thanks for following. What up, Quench TV? Kenya in the building. All right. And Heina is asking, what's the best method, or my best method, to change from a fast BPM to a slow one? There's a few different things you can do. I mean, mixing most likely is not an option unless the speed is so far apart that it's basically double, because then you can actually start mixing again. So for instance, if you're playing a track that's 130 BPM and you have one that's 65, they will blend perfectly. That works perfectly. But let's say we're talking about you're playing a track that's 130 BPM and you want to go to 100 BPM. You're not going to blend, so you're not going to make a mix transition. Look, in my case, it's simple. Either I will just get it out of there with an effect, with some kind of echo, and then bring in the new song, or I'll stop and host and then bring in the new song if I'm doing a live session. If I want to do it in a way that I'm actually mixing, there is a possibility. You would have to set an echo on the track that you currently have playing, so the 130 BPM track, but you set the echo to the tempo of the new song. And you want to echo that continues for quite a while. So either echo or a roll that continues, but you tap so that the effect is 100 BPM, same BPM as your new song. Then if you hit that echo, it will echo in the tempo of the new song, and you can mix the new song in. That's also an option. So there are plenty of things you can actually do, but if I'm playing live, I don't want to overthink it. I don't want to make stuff too chaotic, too hectic. The only thing I make sure I do when I do a large tempo switch is make sure that the new track that I'm bringing in is something the crowd will recognize and go for. that takes care of a lot. If you do whatever you do, but the next track you bring in is a hit, the crowd will definitely just react to the fact that it's a hit and go for that. They're going to pay a lot more attention to that than the fact that the tempo changed. The one thing I wouldn't do is just bringing it on the one, because then with a large BPM difference, you will shock your crowd. What I mean by that is a lot of times when you don't want to mix a track, and I do it all the time when I'm playing live, half of the tracks I will actually do a blend, a mix. The other half, I'm just going to bring them in on the one. But I make sure that they're the same tempo or around the same tempo, because then if you're in that certain vibe and you're listening to a beat, if that new beat just comes in on the one, if the tempo is almost the same, you can just continue your bounce. But if you're bouncing to 130 BPM and then on the one, all of a sudden it goes to 100, that will shock your system as someone who's in the crowd. If you're dancing to 130, the next count can't be 30 BPM slower. So I will make sure that there's actually a little pause in between the two tempos, and most likely I will use an echo or something like that. That's the same question, okay. Just cop some Stantons, you're good. Yeah, Stanton turntables are still nice too, definitely. Are there noise issues with the new Technics? Okay. I mean, I've never tried them. I've never had them, never seen them. So I have no idea. All right. Watson Bobby, happy Wednesday to you. Good to see you as always. Get Big Entertainment. What up? What up? I see all of you right now. Let's see. If I've used Serato Studio, I've actually, well, no, I haven't really used it. I did get like a private demo a year ago during Amsterdam Dance event when we had a little event with DJ City and Serato. And during that event, they had a special studio room. So I got a close look and demo to see how it actually works. And I think it's dope. Beyond that, I did not get around to actually work with it. Anytime I did have some time to work on music, I would just go to my go-to software. In my case, that's Machina. So no, it is on my list to actually really go down the list and use a bunch of different DAWs and production tools just to experience them and to have that experience to share it with you, and also to be able to do a little bit of comparing between. So for now, I can't really comment on it from experience levels, but I did see it and the workflow looked pretty good, pretty basic. And the implementation within Serato was also dope, like making a beat and being able to just play it straight away. But I need more time to actually work with it. What would be the easiest way to live stream from DJM mixers? What exactly do you mean by that? To live stream from a DJM mixer? You mean the audio from that mixer? It all depends on how you're going to live stream. So for instance, if you're live streaming from a computer, you need something to capture your video, and you're going to need something to capture your audio. Your video, you're going to need a capture card or something like that, or you're using a webcam that's connected to the computer. And your audio, you're going to have to take your output from your DJM mixer, and that has to go into the computer. So most likely you're going to need an audio interface to capture that audio. All depends on the setup. So for instance, for me right now, I'm streaming from the computer, but I'm using my A10 Mini Pro. The camera is going into the A10 Mini Pro. My audio is going into my Rodecaster, and from the Rodecaster into the A10 Mini Pro. So that A10 Mini Pro is basically my video and audio capture device in one. And that's sending all of that information through USB to the computer. And that allows me to stream. When I'm live streaming and I'm DJing, whatever mixer I use, the output from my mixer goes into my A10 Mini Pro, and that goes to the computer. But if I didn't have the A10 Mini Pro, and for instance, I would have a webcam, then I would take my output from my computer, from my mixer, and send that to my audio interface, my Apollo Solo, and that would capture it for the computer. So there's nothing special about streaming with a DJM mixer. Whatever mixer you use, you're gonna have to find a way to get the audio into your computer. The best way to discover music, what's the best way to discover music? I get overwhelmed at times with how much music is out there. Yeah, that's my thing as well. That's why I never really thought about joining a lot more DJ pools, because there's already so much that you can get from one DJ pool, let alone two. So for me, I was on DJ City and Beat Junkies, because Beat Junkies did have a little more underground stuff. More than that is just going to be overwhelming. So don't get shocked when that happens. That's just my camera going to sleep after 30 minutes. That will happen. So yeah, I totally understand. I mean, you have to imagine, for me, coming from a time when I would go to record stores like 4 or 5, sometimes even 6 days a week, because we had a bunch of different import stores here. They all had their own days when they would receive new records. I would know all the days and times, so I would be at all of those record stores to get the newest releases. That was the only way to get music. And then I was also I would also receive some promos from record labels, but that was it. Then when the digital era began, you started to get some music online, but you had to really search for it. You had the different download methods. That was before you got the blogs that were actually like posting new stuff. It was still something you could manage. At a certain point, when everything went digital, it became a lot, because you have all the different DJ pools. Then you still probably have some blog sites who do some stuff. Then you have all the streaming services with new music coming out all the time. That's a lot. That really is a lot. So the only question is, how much new music do you need all the time? Like, there's almost only so much music you can play. Now, I'm starting to get more into it now because I'm streaming more, so I want more music. Like for my mix show on Monday, Crates, that's going to be more about me just playing stuff that I want to play. And I'm actually going to start focusing more on, let's say, not the biggest hits, but the other songs. It's going to be a combo of both, so known and unknown. And I'm starting a new mix show where I'm going for just the more of the bangers and famous stuff. But I want to include a lot of the newer stuff as well. So I want to make sure I'm always up to date. So I need to start paying more attention now. But there is so much information. I would just start with a couple of sources and see if that is covering your needs, or if you feel like you're missing out. But don't try to just get everything from everywhere, because the mistake a lot of DJs will make is, now that it's easier to get music, some of you will just grab everything, and then you end up with way too much music. You can't even find your way through that music. 3/4 of what you download, you're not even playing, and it makes it harder to actually play. More music is not always better. So just find a starting point, and don't overdo it, unless you feel like, hey, I'm missing stuff. I'm really missing out. What do you think about the Rode Procaster versus the Shure SM7B? Would you recommend the DBX 286S? I have no experience with that DBX 286, so I can't comment on that. The Procasters by Rode are great microphones. The Shure SM7B is a classic. It is a very dope microphone. I'm currently using a pod mic, which is basically a smaller version of a Procaster. I think the Procaster has a little bit more low end compared to this pod mic, and the same thing goes for the Shure SM7B. That also has a little bit more low end. Even though I know that if I add a little bit of different EQ to this microphone, I can get it to sound a lot like those microphones as well. I'm not too bothered about it. You have to find out what works for you. I mean, a lot of people, we all have our own voice. So for instance, I have some bass in my voice, So I don't particularly need a mic with a lot of low end. Otherwise, it's going to sound way too much like this. I mean, some people think that's cool to get that real deep radio compression type of sound. It has something to it, but it's not necessary for everything. Also, depending on what you're actually doing. I mean, if I'm doing live streams and stuff like that, I'm perfectly fine with what the pod mic is doing for me now. If I'm going to do voiceovers, I might just do something extra with the EQ and the compression. Maybe add an extra filter, even though this has the pop filter inside. I know if you add the filter that you could put on top of this, that will also change the sound a little bit. Wait a minute, what just got disconnected? Okay, we're still cool here. I just heard my computer disconnect from something. I don't know what happened there. But anyways, I mean, all of those microphones are good. So it's all about personal preference in that case. I mean, a lot of people will go for the Shure because they see the Shure in all the radio studios. It's been a classic microphone, also used in a lot of like recording studios. It has a great sound to it. A lot of times you will need to get a cloud lifter if you get a Shure SM7B, just because it needs that extra boost. Some people say you need that with the pod mic as well. I haven't really experienced that, but yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with any of those microphones though. What up, Dick Sample Beats? All the way from Bos en Lommer. Dat is hier niet zo ver vandaan, nou. Gruwelijk. Super Sanchez, what up? Ah, we got Hawaii in the building. One stop, you from Hawaii? I didn't know that. Hawaii and Bay Area, okay. Ebensmatic, what up, what up? Yeah, I am digital. Scratch it in or echo out. You're probably talking about that big BPM difference, right? Yeah, I mean, echoing something out and then scratching something in, that will work. When using Pioneer DJ SB3, the platter sometimes lose traction to control the tracks. Do you know why? No, I don't. Sorry, no, I don't. I mean, that could be an issue with your particular unit. I don't know. Best thing to do is just check online and see if that's a problem you hear about more. Sometimes certain devices can have issues that are just known issues that people run into. So for instance, I had the same thing a couple of weeks ago. I actually killed the HDMI output of my other camera, my GH4. It had been working fine for a long time. I had to unplug it and plug it back in, and I somehow destroyed that HDMI output on the camera. When I started to look online to see if there's a way to fix it, I found that that's a common problem with that camera, and some people even broke it after like a week. I've had that camera for years, and it only happened to me now. But now I found out that it's a common problem. That could be the case with an SB3. I'm not familiar with it, but you should definitely try to look that up and see if that is a known issue. What are the top few transitions you would recommend for old school funk? Record box DVS. For old school funk. Well, okay. First off, if you're dealing with like old school music like funk, then we're talking about music that's not quantized. So we're talking about live drumming and BPM that is fluctuating. So the speed, the tempo is not staying exactly the same. Live drummers were drumming that beat, and even the best drummers will not have the same constant tempo compared to computer music, quantized music. So, I mean, I don't know if there's top transitions. All I know is that you have to be extra alert when you're mixing that music, especially if you're playing two old school funk tracks that both have live drums. It's harder, way harder to do a transition compared to playing newer music. With newer music, if you have it playing at a certain tempo, it will play at that tempo regardless. You can just get the next song, make sure the tempo is the same, and then you can make a transition. So with funk, old school funk, that's a little bit different. Now, I don't have special transitions. I mean, I sync the tempo and then I bring a track in. Sometimes I'll bring that track in with the EQ just in its normal position. And as soon as I bring it in, I'll take out the low end on the track that was already playing. Sometimes I'll bring a track in subtle, so I'll have the bass of the new track out, and then slowly, once I have them playing, switch it up. I wouldn't call that special transitions. That's just my normal way of making transitions. So the only thing I can add is you have to be extra aware when you're playing old school music, because the tempo will not just stay the same. So yeah, not the answer you're probably looking for. I don't have special top transitions I can mention. Terrence says you can set a loop and then slow down or speed up to the other song. Yes, that's basically a same type of thing compared to what I was talking about with making an echo, but doing the echo in the tempo of the new track. You could also set a loop and then slow that loop down. The thing is, if you have a track playing at 130 BPM, then you set the loop. You then have to bring it all the way down to 100 BPM. First off, if you're playing with, let's say, a turntable that has normal pitch, a normal pitch slider, which is like a +8 or +10%, you're not going to be able to reach all the way from 130 down to 100. You need at least a device that allows you to set the parameters, so you can change it from +8, +10 to all the way to +50, which you can do with a lot of devices. Then you would be able to do that. But either you do it really fast, and it's going to sound a little bit weird maybe, or if you take your time and do it gradually, it takes a long time to go from 130 to 100. But it is something that is definitely possible. Loop it, then bring it down to the tempo, then do your transition. If you slow down the party like that, just make sure they need a break. If that is a comment on the BPM difference, then no, I don't agree. A slower tempo does not mean that you take the energy out of a room. It all depends on what the new type of song and genre you play is. So faster is not always more hype. That doesn't have to happen. You can bring a tempo back down, but bring in a banger that will have the entire crowd just go nuts. Fat Lib, what up? Thanks for the follow. 130, 65, the snares could clash. Yes, they can, and no, that's not an issue. That's not an issue. I mean, if they play in sync, that will work. Yes, you will have an extra snare in a place where there's normally not a snare. I've done that plenty of times, but that's not really an issue, especially if you bring in a new track. And for instance, on the 130 track, you take all the low end out, you work with the EQ, the new track gets the most attention. It doesn't have to be an issue. In that case, look, snares clashing is a real issue when you're playing two tracks at the same tempo, but you're a little bit off. So those snares are clashing like a little bit. But if you're playing 130 and 65, then that extra snare that you're hearing is still playing in a steady tempo at a correct place. So I know what you mean, but that's not really an issue. Christopher from Greece, salute. Basically, do not go from WAP to Lenny Williams. Okay. What are your thoughts on the DDJ 1000 SRT and the XCJ XZ being considered flagship controllers? The XZ when used as a Serato controller. When if you want to utilize Serato effects, you have to map them. I've never thought about that. I mean, I would still consider those devices flagship because they are top of the line. So I understand why they would call something like that. What's good is you mentioned that. I'll actually look it up with my SRT. I hardly ever use Serato effects. That's why I never even noticed that. Is that a fact on the SRT as well? Do you have to map them before they work? I'll have to look that up, the ruckus. So that's actually dope you point that out. That's something I can look up. I mean, I don't have the XZ, but I do have the SRT, so I can check that. DJ Shark, what's good? I have the same issue with the SB3 losing traction. Okay. So it is something more people have issues with. That's good to know. You had a sticker on yours. Why did you have a sticker on it? Because a sticker on a controller with non-moving platters doesn't work. I mean, that doesn't do anything. You can't use it as a visual aid the same way you would use it with a moving platter. That's when a sticker makes sense, because the sticker will actually move and then you can bring it back to a certain point. But with like a controller with just a normal jog wheel, that doesn't do anything. You got to use Serato Studio, Bonkers. I'll hit you by email. I got it for you. I hope that's not for me, because I don't need it. I can get it. I can get it anytime. So that's no problem. No, the problem just has been time for me. I haven't got around to work with it because I'm already working with other software. Now, to be perfectly clear, I do not see Serato Studio ever taking the place of Machine for me. I don't see that happening. But I like to try stuff out, and it might be something that I could use as well. But I love my workflow with Machine, and first on the top of my list is Ableton. That's the first one I want to conquer. All right, Tyrone, that's great to hear. That is always dope to hear. DJ Rizzo, what's up? Hey, Harvey Aldante in the building. What up? I use Chrome extensions to download playing audio from any website. Okay, you can, but that's not going to be great quality. I mean, there's extensions to download. There's also ways to download audio of YouTube, and a lot of times you will not get good quality audio. Is it possible to put together a video to show us how to stream using Twitch? What kind of equipment and tools are needed? Yeah, that's a video I can definitely do, but just to have a basic understanding, you're gonna stream. You're gonna need a computer to stream from, unless you buy an ATEM Mini Pro. You can stream off that. I would not advise that. That's only something that's useful if you're gonna do multi-angle camera work and stuff like that. But if you're going to stream, you need a computer. You need something to capture your video. That could be a webcam connected straight to the computer, or if you have a camera, you'll need a capture device that allows you to connect that camera to the computer. There are ways to connect certain cameras through USB to the computer and use special software to make that work. I know that works with certain Canon cameras. So there's different options. So you could do some research on that to see if you have a camera right now, if that camera can be connected through USB. If not, you're going to need some sort of video capture device to capture the video. And then you need to connect your audio source. So if you're using a controller or a DJ set with a mixer, the output from that needs to go into the computer as well. So that needs to go into an audio interface. That could be a built-in audio interface on your computer, or it could be an external audio interface. But you need a way to get your audio and video into your computer. And then you need some streaming software. And in my case, I'm using OBS. I'm using Stream Elements OBS. There's different types of software out there. OBS is free. That's the great thing about it. And it just works great. And that allows you to stream. And within the software, you also have the option to do extra stuff like the overlays. So for instance, I have some overlays going on my screen where you can see the chat on screen. You can see the lower end that I have there, logos in there, and all that sort of goodness. You can do all of that within the streaming software. So in my case, that's OBS that I'm using for that. But I will definitely also make a video. Make sure you check out Cleveland Terry on YouTube. He already did a couple videos about this, going through his entire setup with OBS as well. So that's a good source. And maybe, I think Mojax did a couple of videos for DJ City about streaming as well. I don't know if he covered the entire setup though. I'm not sure about that anymore. What up, Tyrone? Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see what else. Nev Dog, what's going on? Twitch setups, especially camera types, and how important is lighting? Now that's a good point you made right there. Lighting is very important. Like, look, there's a ton of different cameras out, and I've talked to different people. A lot of different people use different cameras. Some people use strictly GoPros. I normally use a GoPro for my overhead shot. Right now I don't have the overhead shot here, but with my normal streams, when you see my DJ set from above, that's just a GoPro, an old GoPro, a Hero 5. And right now I'm using a Canon M50. Normally I was using my Panasonic GH4, but I can't use that for streaming anymore because I broke the HDMI output. So that's still my main camera for YouTube videos, but I just don't have an output for streaming anymore. So right now the M50 is my main camera for that. The Logitech C922, I think I remember that one. You can use that. I mean, if you, for instance, already have that, you can definitely use that. But lighting can improve the quality of videos like tremendously. It can do a lot for you. I mean, if I bring down the light here, this camera is pretty okay, so it will still look okay. But you can tell with low light, the camera's compensating a little bit, but I can see that right now it's looking really grainy. It's not a great look right there. Then when I start to improve my light, now the camera will have to catch up for a second because I have it on auto ISO. So my camera is adjusting to the fact that there's actually more light here now. And then I get a nice crisp image. So lighting is very important. Don't have to start with special lights. Just having lights there close by to get some good light on you will just improve your overall quality a lot. So that is very important. Now, depending on what you're going to do for your live stream. So if you're going to do a live stream on Twitch where you're mixing, your audio is going to be more important than your video. Keep that in mind. Audio always plays a big part in video, even though we're talking about video and the visual. If you have a great looking video, but the audio quality is terrible, especially for a mixed stream, people are not going to tune in, or they tune in. And once they hear the bad audio, that will get them off the stream quick. Let's see. I see a funny one here in between. New camera makes you look older. Well, this is not a new camera, so that's not it. It's this right here. If I don't shave for 2 days, you get that gray. And that will definitely add some years. That's for sure. Because this is not a new camera. I've had this camera for a year or two now. No, more than 2. So that's not it. That right there. And I am old. All right, let's see. What else? A good mixer to use with the reloops. All depends on what you need. What up, Gus? Gus Gomez in the building. It all depends on what you're looking for. Like, what do you do when you mix? So, for instance, for me, I'm a DJ, a turntablist. I love to scratch, do turntablism tricks. So I prefer a scratch mixer. So I'm using a mixer with a faster crossfader. The part around my crossfader on my mixers is empty, so there's not extra knobs. So it's really made for us turntablists. If you're more of a club DJ, then you don't need a scratch mixer. You can use something that's more like a club mixer. Are you playing 2 channels or do you do 4 channels? Do you need a mixer that has the audio interface in to play DVS? Or do you need a mixer that's allows you to use Serato, or do you have a separate audio interface for that? So, I mean, you can use any mixer with reloops, all depending on your needs. That will decide what the mixer for you will be. So if you're looking for a performance scratch mixer, Reloop has the Reloop Elite. They released that at the same time as those turntables. That's a great mixer for it. It's also at least a little bit cheaper compared to Pioneer and Reign's offerings. But maybe you don't need all of that. Maybe you're just looking for something to have the audio from both turntables come together, and you can go for a basic entry-level type mixer. So Jamal, that's all I can tell you. There's 100 different options out there, and you need to find what's right for you. But there's not a special mixer that will work better with reloop turntables. I take that back, depending on your situation. If you plan to use all of what the reloop turntables have to offer MIDI wise, then you need to connect them to your computer. That means that you have 2 extra USB devices going into your computer. Certain mixers, like for instance the Reloop Elite, the Rain 72, the S11, they have a little USB hub on the mixer. So you connect your Reloop turntables, the USB, to USB inputs on those mixers. So for instance, my S9 doesn't have that, but the Rain 72 does, the Reloop Elite does, and the S11 does as well. So if that's important to you because you want to use the MIDI functionality on those mixers, then that could be cool, but you don't have to. You could also just buy a little USB hub and connect them directly to your computer. Like I said, there's a million things to consider looking for the right equipment for you. All right. Thanks for answering my question the best way possible. I'll just stick with the starting point. I do got only 1 record pool, and I got Spotify to see what's new. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing also. If you use Spotify or Tidal, they'll also always show you what they have new, and sometimes you'll find stuff there that you want. I used to download tons of music in my beginning journey, but now I just listen to it and analyze it. That was the thing before downloading. When I went to the record stores, I was on a budget. I couldn't buy everything. So you would go to the record store, you would grab whatever was new, and you would spend the next couple of hours just listening to everything. Give it a listen, and you would evaluate, is this something I'm going to play? First off, hey, do I like it? And if I like it, is it something I'm going to play? If not, then I'll set it to the side and see how many other records I find that I do want to play. Now, on some days, I would already have a stack like this with records that I knew I was going to play at the clubs. And then that other song that I did like would have to go back because I didn't have the money to get all of them. Some days it was kind of weak and there weren't a lot of songs in there that I could use for DJing. And then I would go home with that song that I just really liked and add that to my collection. But the fact that you had to buy every song and vinyl wasn't cheap, you would make better decisions compared to now when it's so easy to get so much music just in for cheap. That's a fact. Let's see. So much to catch up, especially new vibes I've never heard. Yeah, that's also the thing. Like there's more genres or more digital since the digital era. I mean, there's more genres, more sub-genres within music. It all depends on if you want to play everything. So that's it for me. I already know I don't want to play everything. So a lot of genres I'm not really paying a lot of attention to. I might at a certain point, but if you try to play everything, then it takes so much time and work to stay up to date with all of those different genres of music. So I feel you 1000% on that. Shazam also helps out indeed. Yep. Riyadh, what's good? All the way from South Africa. And DJ Ant, how much records you got? Ooh, I'm not sure anymore. I think the last time I counted, it was probably around 12 or 15,000, something like that. And I know I got rid of quite a bunch because there were a lot of records in there, a lot of like old promo material. So record pool material before digital record pools, actual vinyl record pools. I used to get my hands on so much vinyl, also because I would actually go to the labels here. And every time I would go there, I would leave with a stack of vinyl. And a lot of that was just trash, just not dope. So at a certain point, I was like, okay, I got to get rid of some of this stuff because it takes up so much space. And I think I got rid of like 8 or maybe more crates, maybe 8 or 16 crates of music. That was just not dope, and it just took up space. So I don't know. It's over 10,000, but I don't know how many exactly. And I spent a long time building that collection. George Gomez, what up? Studio monitor recommendation for home practice setup. Ooh, good question. And I actually don't have an answer for that. I mean, there's a lot of different studio monitors available. But in your case, if you're looking for a home practice setup, you're talking about just DJ practice, right? Because if you're doing DJ practice, you're not really looking for studio monitors the way I view studio monitors. When I talk about studio monitors, I'm talking about reference monitors that you use when you're making and mixing music. Not DJ mixing, but actually mixing a song to release it. So actually fixing the sound, manipulating the sound, working on the EQ, compression, all of that. To do that, you want speakers that will give you accurate depiction of the audio. So in my case, I have studio monitors right here in front of me. So right now I'm looking at my NS7, I want to say NS7, no, my NS10, my Yamaha NS10 monitor speakers, which are great for monitoring, not the best for DJing because of their sound. Now, luckily, I also have a pair of RM7s by Pioneer. Those are studio reference monitors, but they do also have a lot more low end in there. Those are the ones I normally have on when I'm DJing. But you can get pretty cool, pretty cheap speakers nowadays that will definitely give you enough audio for a home practice setup. I just don't have recommendations for that. I would have to do an actual like speaker test, but I know there's plenty of brands that will offer just a good set of speakers for home practice setups. They don't need to be too large. They don't need to be too loud. I reckon you can't really go too loud. So for instance, I see Gus Gomez mention a pair that I did see come by PreSonus, the E5s. So thank you for that recommendation. The boy says KRK for DJs. I don't know. Mixmaster G says the same thing. I guess, I mean, I know KRKs, but I know them only from studios, but I know that they do definitely have a lot more of a full sound compared to my NS10s. So I guess those are a couple of recommendations. Now, KRK is a brand. They have a lot of different monitors, but you can check KRK. PreSonus offers a couple of different speakers in that range. I don't know if Pioneer has, I mean, they have a smaller version of this. I don't know if that's the best one for DJing. Let's see. Tech9 says he's using the JBL LSR 305s. I remember JBL from way back when I had like super small JBL speakers as my DJ speakers. They weren't great, but they definitely helped me out a long way. So there's a couple of recommendations. So thank you for everyone in the chat for jumping in with that one. Let's see. DJ Chris says many controllers have a grounding issue. Is that a fact? Okay, that's news to me. I've never experienced that, but that could be. Which controller did you have that issue with? DJ, oh, I don't want to mispronounce your name all the way from India. Katarian? I definitely mispronounced that, but salute to you. You know who you are when I just demolished your name. Sorry about that. Papa Smurf, what up? Why do I always have to reinstall Rekordbox to use Rekordbox DVS on Windows laptop? I don't know. Do you have what? So every time you want to use it, you have to reinstall it? That doesn't sound right. That shouldn't happen. Like DJ software should just be installed and work. So yeah, Helicase, of course, I know the live drum problem is hard. I mean, I've seen DJs that's going back to the funk music question. I've seen DJs like have the biggest struggles ever trying to mix disco and funk. We used to have a party here in Amsterdam called Paradisco. It was at a famous club here called Paradiso. I used to play there a lot too. And they had one night, a very successful night called Paradisco. Now, as the name already suggests, they would play disco, but it was like a combo of disco and some funk. And a lot of those records, like most of the records they were playing, were records that were before the quantized era, so all of those drums were live. And man, I would see DJs fight those records a lot of times. I mean, the crowd isn't really noticing it, but if you're there as a DJ, your ear is trained differently. And then when you hear them make the transition, and you can just see the fight and you feel the struggle and pain, because you're playing 2 tracks, you can hear that this track is a little bit too slow, so then you give it a nudge forward. But a second later, because the tempo is fluctuating, all of a sudden it wasn't too slow, but it's playing faster. So now that nudge forward has taken it too far forward, and then you see him bring it back, and it's like a constant fight. So yeah, it's harder, but it's a great learning tool. I mean, when you play quantized music after that, that is super, makes it super easy. It's useful to get redrums of old school funk from DJ pools. Yeah, if they have it, it definitely is cool. If they do a redrum, then indeed they've quantized it. But a lot of records will not be in there. If you're like a DJ who really plays those genres a lot. So if you only play like a couple of the hits, there is a chance that you can actually find a redrum version of that when it's quantized, and that will make your life easier. Indeed. Hold up. Let's just start off as a DJ. What record pools would you recommend? The next one with the question. So I don't have a lot of recommendations. I use DJ City. I use Beat Junkies. It all depends on what kind of music you're looking for, because there's definitely more DJ pools out there. Not every DJ pool is as legit as the other. That's the only thing I can really say for DJ City. Everything is really legit. Like the tracks you get there are legal. It is all worked out with labels. There are certain record pools out there that I wonder how and where they get music from. Even though if you can still join that record pool and get the music, that's not really your problem at that moment. But it's hard for me to just say go to those record pools. It really depends on what you need. Some record pools offer more of this, other more of that. So if you have specific needs, drop it in the chat and people can jump in and let you know what they're currently using. Irie Scratch, what up? Fat Lib, thanks for the follow if I didn't say that already. Is it possible to put together a video to show us a stream? Oh, wait. Oh, that's the same question again. Okay, then I caught the other one. DJ 9 Iron, what's up? The YouTube comments are about 10 minutes behind. Right. That is definitely a possibility. I have to see. Maybe I've set that on slow on YouTube, because then it throws them through a little bit slower, I think. Not sure. All right, so Waves recommends Club Killers. I've never used that one. J-Man, thanks for following. I think it's worthwhile to comment that sometimes, depending on what you've done to the low EQ, the snare can actually be crucial to the beat match if you can't hear the lows in one track. The snares are the thing I pay attention to most of the time when I'm mixing. So that is the thing I look for. But even if I was playing a 130 and a 65 track, and one of the snares is falling right in between the other snares, I can still focus on that and hear if it's coming in at the right point. But I never focus on kicks. I focus on snares. Always. So yeah. How much does mixing and key matter? Debo asks. It's a hard one for me. I don't mix in key. And when I say that, I mean that I don't look at the information that is in my DJ software. A lot of times I will use BPM. So if I'm in a certain BPM range, I'll have my folder set to BPM. So I know that all the tracks in that surrounding area are the same BPM range. With key, I hardly ever do that. But I know that it can help, especially if you do transitions that are longer. Having tracks that are in the same key makes everything sound way more beautiful. Also, if tracks are not in the same key or far apart, especially when you're dealing with melodies and bass lines, stuff can start to clash and not sound good. Now, luckily, I was, let's say, blessed with an ear that could mostly tell when I was playing two songs and I would hear bass lines together, something would tell me like, ooh, that doesn't sound well. Even though I didn't understand at the time that it was the key that was clashing, I could tell like, ooh, I don't like it when I play these two melodies together. That was the key. Now, 2 weeks ago during a live stream, I was actually doing a transition going from actually something like 130 to 65. It was, at least I was doing like a halftime transition. At that point, I just went to that part of the folder where I had that low tempo, but I actually looked for a track that was in the same key as the track that was playing, because it was going to do, I thought it was going to be a longer transition. I found one. I could just tell, like, it sounded perfect. And that was because the keys matched. I could just tell like, oh yeah, this sounds really good. Now, sometimes I'll have tracks that won't be in the right key, but if there's not a lot of melody in that track, you're not really gonna notice. If I take out all the low end in one track and I'm doing a transition, you're not really gonna notice as much. Plus, my transitions are short. Most of the times my transitions are 8 bars or shorter, so it's not the biggest issue, but key can definitely add something to it. So I personally don't mix in key that I'm looking for it, but my ear pays attention to it. And if you can play a track in the same key, most likely the outcome will sound better. I'd like to know how I can do a live mix to Instagram live. Get clear audio from the DJM mixer to my phone. There are ways to do that. The way I did it is I did go through an audio interface. So I went from the mixer to my audio interface, and from that audio interface I went to my phone. So there's special audio interfaces. So you have some iRigs that are made by IK Multimedia that are made to use with mobile devices. So they're actually like small audio interfaces that you can connect to your mixer, then connect to your phone. In my case, I bought for an iPhone, I bought an adapter that you can use to connect to a USB device. So it was an adapter that you plug into the iPhone, and on the other end, I might have it here actually. Hold up, give me 1 sec. Ooh. I might just do something now that's just totally useless because it's not in here. Oh yeah, it is. There we go. So I had this adapter right here, and it has on the back a lightning port so you can still charge your phone, and a USB port, and it's made to connect the camera to the phone. But I use this to connect my audio interface. I had a little Zoom audio interface, and I connected that to my phone through that adapter. And that allowed me to play, I think I used it on Periscope a couple of times, and I believe I also used that on Instagram. I do not focus on Instagram because a lot of times you're not going to be able to get away with a live mix on Instagram anyway. But iRig by IK Multimedia makes like special audio interfaces for that as well. So that is a way to do it. Another way that could work, the DJM 800. I'm not sure if the 800 works for that. If you get the Rec app by Pioneer, so you look that up online just to be sure. Pioneer has a recording app called the Rec app, Pioneer Rec. You can connect your DJM device to your phone, use the Rec app, and live stream using that. That will take the audio from the Rec app. Let me see if that's still on my, yeah, it's called DJM Rec on the phone. And it works with a couple of different mixers by Pioneer. I just don't know if the 800 is part of that. But it's like a recording app, so you can record vocals on it, but you can also use that to connect it to your DJM to record mixes digitally. It's dope because you can clip and a couple of different extra things that are nice about it. I don't know if I can see in the app which the okay, here it is. No, DJ M900 Nexus 2, the DJ M750, DJ M450, DJ M Tour, and the V10. Okay, so no, that's not an option for the 800. So now we know. So the other option that I mentioned is something that could work for you if you want to go from your phone to IG. So check that out. Look that up online as well. What up, Xander? Xander all the way from DC. Xander wants to know if I always do wordplay or tone play. No and no. Let me elaborate. But first off, the Funk House says he used the S9 to an iRig to a Galaxy 10e. So yeah, the iRigs are definitely something that will work for that. So let me get back to Xander's question right here. Wordplay is something, if it happens spontaneously. It is something that it's really cool to do, especially when you're doing a routine. And I've seen plenty of routines where people will focus on a word and then use that word to go from track to track. Tone play, I think tone play is cool. I think a lot of DJs do it wrong. And I think it's cool, but not really more than that. What I mean by that is when I say a lot of DJs do it wrong, a lot of DJs do it kind of sloppy. So they'll get a tone and then they'll play that tone in a few different keys and you can hear which melody they're playing, but they're not playing it in a correct key. So they're playing that melody. Okay, I can recognize which song it is. And then they bring in that song. But then when you hear that song, it's not the same key. To me, that's not a good way to do tone play. To me, correct tone play would be that you find a tone, you play a melody, we recognize the melody. Then when you bring that original song in, you can still continue to play that melody and it will sound good together because it's in the same key. But a lot of times when I hear DJs do tone play, yeah, I can hear what they're attempting to do, but I just don't like it when it's not musically correct. So I kind of just stayed away from that. And you have one more question, I believe, that you added to it. That already jumped out the screen. All right, I'll run into that in a second because I saw you had one more question there. I think it was about dropping it on the one. And DJ Ism says, BPM Supreme, one of the best record pools. Yeah, they have a lot of music as well. Definitely. Let's see. T Diesel was good. What's the best way to get the best audio from tracks? Debo, how do you mean to get the best audio from tracks? Are you talking about when you're recording a mix, or let me know what you mean by that? Reactor, what up? This might be a dumb question. There's not really such a thing, but okay. Is there a difference between a sound card and audio interface? No, that's the same thing, just a different name. So no, I do not consider that a dumb question. Just be glad that you asked it because now you know. Because a lot of times people in their minds, they'll be like, that's probably a stupid question. Let me not ask. And then they end up still not knowing. I do have one good tip for you though, and that is Google. Because if you just type exactly what you had there into Google, you'll find straight away that you'll get the answer like, no, that's the same thing. A lot of times sound cards were actually like audio interfaces that were inside a computer. And in that case, they don't look the same as like the external audio interfaces. So if someone wants to get technical, probably they're going to say that a sound card is inside your computer and an audio interface can also be external. I don't know, but it is the same thing. All right, let's see. Okay, so if DJ Waves understood Debo correctly, and Debo's question was about finding the best audio quality music, then yes, buying is going to be better than downloading. That's a fact. and it's going to be better than ripping it from YouTube or something else. 100%. Philco 79, what's up? All the way from Houston. Okay, so Debo, I have SoundCloud Plus, and I've been getting all my songs that way. But how do you get all your songs off SoundCloud Plus? Do they have all the music on there? I never even checked that. You know that? Somehow I always keep assuming SoundCloud does not have all the officially released music, even though I know I see them advertise that. Well, I'm not going to look it up now. We'll see. DJ Stancast, thank you for following. By the way, let me just switch that real quick. No. Where's my audio? There we go. Even though it's super low in the background, can't listen to the same thing 2 hours in a row. Oh, Gomez, you were Gus Gomez, you were doing the radio mix. Hey, man. That stuff comes before this, bro. And this can also be checked on a replay. By the way, before I forget, I'm gonna mention this a bunch of times. This for all my people on YouTube. Very important. I'll mention it a lot more, and I'm gonna make sure I'll post it on YouTube and promote it in different places as well. I will no longer be doing my live mixes on YouTube. So for all my YouTube fam, I apologize in advance. And I know a lot of you feel that comfort of being on YouTube, but from now on, all of my mix streams will not be available on YouTube anymore. You'll have to go to Mixcloud or Twitch or Periscope. Fact is, a couple of times I did my live streams there. Everything went fine. Afterwards, I did get like 50 to 60 emails per episode of copyright claims, but it was still okay. But after that, a couple got blocked. Last time, so Monday, when the stream was interrupted on YouTube, it actually stated on screen that this was a policy violation. I spent a long time building my YouTube channel to what it is, and I'm not risking my channel for a live stream like that. So when it went from receiving emails about copyright to policy violations, that kind of changed things for me. I don't feel comfortable doing the mixed live streams on YouTube if there is even the slightest possibility I'm endangering my channel. My channel is there for education purposes, and I'm pretty sure that if I do, for instance, a short mix on YouTube, that it won't be an issue. And I might get a couple of emails about copyright. But I think the fact that I'm doing like 3-hour mixes is like too much for them. So my main goal is to make sure that Mixcloud will become the final destination for people. But at the moment, it will be Mixcloud and Twitch. I really like what's going on Twitch. I'm just not sure if that is going to be a lasting thing that might go the same direction as other places like YouTube. So Mixcloud is the only place where we can be totally safe. Now, I'm not starting from zero on Mixcloud. I have a following there already for my normal mixes. So I'll continue to build that as well. For now, Twitch isn't a big issue. I just can't do replays. I have to delete it straight after the live stream. But I'm not going to risk anything on YouTube. So all my YouTube people who enjoy the live streams, the mixed live streams, those will not be available on YouTube. I'll make sure that I'll post on YouTube right before I go live and all that. But come check me out. Go to mixcloud.com/DJTLM or go to twitch.tv/DJTLM. And Periscope is always on as well. Now, these type of streams, these were made for YouTube. These are always going to be here as well. So I'm going to mention that a bunch more times because it's just really important. All right. Verano, what up? Sorry to bother you. No. That is the number one thing. You cannot bother me here. This is what I'm here for. I'm here to chop it up with y'all. answer questions at the same time, learn stuff when people post stuff. So that is the thing. All right, let's see. The question is, my DDJ SR2 has trouble since Thanksgiving. I played the first song, but when I try to play the second song, that's where the problems start. I can't really help you there because I'm not tech support in the way that I don't know what the issue could be. It could be a hardware issue. It could be something in the software. Have you contacted Pioneer or Serato? Oh no, wait, it's the SR2. That's with Rekordbox, right? Or no, that's the RB. Sometimes I get messed up with the name. The SR is still Serato. So no, I'm not sure. Right Touch says, do you prefer Mixcloud over Twitch? Look, here's the thing for me. I'm not really noticing it because when I'm live streaming and I'm doing my mix and I'm using Restream to go to all of these different places, Restless video option. Okay, I'll get back to you. I go live. I'm mixing. I'm on Restream, and most of the times I'll have my Twitch page open, and I can see the entire chat except for Mixcloud. And I'm going to pay more attention to that. I'm going to make sure I have a separate window open for Mixcloud because I want to really start giving some more love over there as well, because I see comments there and I'm not really reacting to them. So Mixcloud wasn't going to be live when they went live. They went live because of the pandemic and because they saw that everyone just went straight to Twitch. They went live with their feature before they were actually supposed to go live. And last week, Cleveland Terry had, damn, I forgot his name, had the guy from Mixcloud on, and he talked about a lot of things that are coming to Mixcloud. So for instance, things that are comparable to Twitch, something similar to bits and raids and all that stuff. And I definitely believe at a certain point, if things continue the way they are now on Twitch, people will definitely move to Mixcloud, but they are working on those things. But the most important thing for me is I know for a fact that that is not just 100% legal, and I see the boys say the same thing, it's 100% legal. It also actually supports the artist because they will get a piece of what's happening. So right now, Twitch feels better if you look at the community aspect because they have that on lock. But I also know you can build a community anywhere as long as you get some people to go along. So right now, I don't have to choose. I can just do my thing the way it's going. But as soon as I get certain signals, I will have to make decisions. Like I made the decision now, I'm stopping with the stream on YouTube. I don't want to risk anything. With Twitch right now, I don't feel threatened because even though I'm building my following on Twitch, it's not the same thing as a YouTube channel that I've spent my last 9 years building. 166,000 subscribers, 450 plus videos. I don't want to risk that. If anything would happen to my Twitch now, it would be a shame. I mean, I'm at like 865 followers. It's going nice. I enjoy doing it. I would not like it if that channel would be taken down, but it's not the same risk factor compared to what happened on YouTube. So no, I want to continue the way I'm going now, but I want to spend more energy building my Mixcloud. I have a following. I have like 4,500 people there, but they came there like years ago for my mixes. And I don't know how many of those people are still active. So yeah, Twitch is now the place community-wise, but I know that the same thing can be built on different platforms. So Restless, you added something that they don't have an option for videos, and I know that Mani, another DJ from the Netherlands who is very active on Twitch, normally DJs with video. The reason he wasn't using Mixcloud is because Mixcloud did not have, you couldn't do video on Mixcloud. You couldn't play video mixes. So yeah, I can totally understand that if that's the case, that if video is your thing and that's not happening there, then you don't really see Mixcloud as an option yet. For me, that's not the thing. I mean, I plan to do a couple of video streams every now and then. I have a lot of music videos, but it's not my main thing. And even at a certain point, if I wanted to do like a video mix, I could do that on Twitch and the rest on, there we go, camera, hold up, and the rest on Mixcloud. So we'll see. Reload Uno. Thanks for following. All right, let me continue here. I do think Serato is falling a little bit behind technology. If I think that, when I think about the Denon SC6000, CDJ, S11, other devices that use some waveforms and so on, it doesn't feel cutting edge. No, Constantine, I don't know. I don't have that. I don't have that issue. And S11 is Serato. I mean, you can use it for Serato and Record Box, but no, I don't really feel that. I mean, yeah, there are certain features you can find in different software that you can't find in Serato. Same thing with, for instance, like neural mix in DJ. You can't find that in Serato. It's not something that will make me feel like they're falling behind. So no, currently I don't see it that way, but it all depends. If a certain piece of software has a feature you enjoy and Serato doesn't have that, then I can understand why you would choose that over Serato. But I currently don't experience it that way. And I also think it's important that companies don't try to rush to catch up on everything that other software companies might do. I'd rather a company takes time and adds things that are useful, or adds them when they really work well. Let's see. Okay, that's a question. That's Debo and Waves talking, so I'll leave that to you. I'll leave that to y'all. Angels also jizz. What up? Angels also jizz. Really? Thanks for the follow. And DJ Silva, thanks for the follow as well. Thanks for following. Let's see what else. I'm gonna skip over Waves and Debo. Y'all having your own convo. I mean, I can jump in, but let me just jump ahead and see what else we have. So Mixmaster G, ik zie nu pas de goede avond. But I think I already greeted you. Okay, the boy says Alto also makes very affordable powered PAs, which would be best for strictly DJing. Yeah, I think there's so many options out there. I just never really jumped into it because I have speakers and I'm not going to add a lot more now. If I would add speakers here, I would probably get some really small like speakers for DJing that I could put right next to the setup, because I don't want to move my studio speakers around. I want to keep them where they are, and they're heavy as well. I don't feel like moving them. DJ Jaime, thanks for the follow. Jaime, thanks for the follow. And Island Boy 2, thanks for following as well. Okay, Debo, now Waves is telling Debo to check my tutorials for counting. Damn it, now maybe I have to go back to see what you were talking about. Now I got to continue first. DJ on the ones and twos, what's up? I have a friend that wants to start out DJing, has no equipment, little experience. What advice do you suggest for newbies entering the craft and to join Twitch? I probably wouldn't suggest a newbie to join Twitch for live streaming, but you have a friend that has no equipment, a little experience. So first thing that person needs to do is get some equipment and start practicing. That's my suggestion for newbies if you're entering the craft. And joining Twitch is something that should not even be discussed yet, like for quite some time. Yeah, Gus Gomez, same here. I never had that issue with Rekordbox, like that you have to reinstall it. That would be crazy if you have to reinstall every time you want to play. J-Man, what up? And I know I'm way behind because that message was sent half an hour ago, so I can tell that I'm way behind. Okay, Mixmaster G is saying, like, depending on your budget, DJ Pro on iOS is what I recommend. Yeah, if you have, I mean, on a phone, it's cool. I used it on a phone. On an iPad, it's even better because then you have actually some room to move. But I mean, an app is a great place to start to see if DJing is actually something you like before you go out and buy some equipment. That is a fact. I mean, I had a lot of fun with that as well. And you can also get like some really cheap controllers that work with an app. That way you don't even need to get like a laptop for DJing yet. You can start out like that. That definitely works. And Dr. Jeremy, no worries. I mean, you know where to find me, right here. And you can join whenever you can. Okay, so since I'm running like a half hour behind, chances are that a lot of these things have already been answered, because Debo, I see you're asking what a DJ pool is, so maybe that's already been answered. I'm just going to scroll by to see if that's already been answered. How is Beat Junkie's record pool? What DJs would benefit from that? Well, my view was that they have a little bit more underground stuff if I compare it to, for instance, DJ City. That was the thing I liked about it. So the music selection was a little bit different. That was basically why I also checked Beat Junkies. But yeah, I have no other answer for that. So it all depends on what you as a DJ are looking for. If that's totally not something you need, then it's not something you need to add to your subscription list right there. And no, Beatport is not a DJ pool. That's basically a digital music store. You buy songs out there. So Waves, a DJ pool is not a place where you buy music. That's not the right description for a DJ pool. So Debo, and maybe it's been answered. A DJ pool used to be a place where DJs would subscribe to a record pool before digital times. And if they were part of that record pool, the record labels, when they were releasing new songs, before the song got out on the radio, they would send promo copies of the song on vinyl to DJs. So DJs could start playing those songs in clubs, testing the songs, see what they do, how they work. And they would give feedback to the record labels to let them know, like, hey, this song is really catching on, or hey, this song is not working. That would give the record labels an idea of if the song had a chance to break through. So if they would send the promo copies to the DJs, and all DJs would come back like, yo, every time we play this track, people go crazy, that will give the record pool a good idea, like, okay, this song is going to work. Now, that was back in the vinyl days. Basically, digital DJ pools do the same thing. They offer DJs songs as soon as or before they're released. It's not really happening now, but like a couple of years ago, when you joined the DJ pool and you would download songs, so you pay a subscription, then you get access to their archive. And when you would download songs, you would have to send feedback to your digital DJ pool so that they could send the feedback from us, the DJs, to the record labels. So they were basically kind of doing the same thing. But a record pool is a subscription service for DJs where they can get their hands on music, mostly new music. And a lot of times also not just the song, but for certain songs, you'll have different versions, dirty version, clean version, instrumental, sometimes even acapellas, and special DJ edits that will have like 8 bars of a clean beat in the beginning, which makes it easier to mix. All of those things can be available at record pools. Some record pools will ask you to basically prove that you are a DJ. You have to send them some information. A lot of record pools don't do that anymore. It used to be more strict, but that is basically what it boils down to. Can you tell us more about your vinyl collection? Do you still use it a lot, and what records will you never sell? Blazing Starks, I started my vinyl collection before I became a DJ because the first music I was buying was basically on vinyl, because that is how you bought music. You bought music on cassette or on vinyl. And I would have a little stereo in my room, and that stereo would have a tuner, a radio tuner in there, cassette deck, and on top of it, it would have a turntable. And that was just for consumers to play music that you bought at home. And you would buy like the 7-inch singles or entire albums. You weren't really buying 12 inches yet, like 12-inch singles yet. You were buying 7-inch singles or like large 12-inch albums. So that's where it kind of started for me. And at a certain point when I decided to start DJing, I started to buy more vinyl. In the beginning, I couldn't buy a lot of vinyl. When I started to do my first paid gigs, all of the money I made would go to vinyl. So I would play on a Friday, and with the money I earned, I was at the record store on Saturday morning. And the record store, the import store where I bought a lot of my music, was right around the corner from my house. So I would spend a lot of time there. I just built my collection over time. When my DJ career was taking off and my touring career, touring with an artist, I've been the tour DJ for Brainpower, an artist out of Amsterdam, for 22 years now. At a certain point when he started to get hits, we started to do a lot of shows. I was doing crazy amounts of shows and also club shows, DJing, and a lot of weekends I would do shows with Brainpower, and then I would go on to clubs and play in clubs. At a certain point, I was spending around 1,500 euros a month on vinyl. Then your collection will grow. So I was spending like ridiculous amounts on vinyl. Now, mind you, I did have to buy a lot of copies double because I was doing my turntablism thing. So anytime I would hear a dope new record, I did not get one, but I got 2 copies. And I was able to actually like slim down the size of my collection by putting most of my double copies into one sleeve. So I have a lot of copies in here that if I grab the record, if I grab the sleeve, there's going to be 2 pieces of vinyl in there. And in the beginning, I would have all of the sleeves in there, but I thought like, okay, let me get rid of one of those sleeves for all of those doubles. That will save me space in this collection right here. So yeah, that's how I basically built my collection. Now, I hardly ever buy vinyl anymore just because it costs a lot and I'm not playing vinyl, so I hardly get around to doing it. I plan to do some live streams with vinyl every now and then, but before I can do that, I have to go through here and organize because it is a mess. I can't really find anything. I used to have this alphabetically organized, but after 2 separate moves, I'm happy that it's here, but it's a mess. It's a total mess. So no, I hardly buy vinyl. Last time I actually got some new vinyl was, I think a year or 2 years ago when I went to a record plant that we have here in the Netherlands where they press vinyl. I went to see how vinyl was made. And when I was there, I also got my hands on some of their new releases, which were basically a couple of re-releases and a couple of soundtrack releases. I wouldn't even have an idea where that is. No, I'm lying. I bought vinyl 2 months ago. I bought vinyl 2 months ago for the first time in a long time. I had to get a new copy. If I move this way, right behind me there, that white sleeve you see with a guy on there, that's Jazzy Jeff, and that's Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. He's the DJ, I'm the rapper reissue that I bought on vinyl, double vinyl. So, no, but I don't buy a lot of vinyl anymore, just because I don't go out to play vinyl. If there's records out in here that I never sell, yes, there definitely are, and I can't think of any right now. But I know there's some vinyl in here that I would just never want to get rid of, just because I like it too much. Even though I can get it digitally or have it digitally, some of these you just want to keep in your collection. Some of those will be like the earlier pieces of vinyl that I used when I started to learn how to DJ. Some of those aren't even playable anymore because I've just played them so many times. But I'll keep those as memories forever. How do you connect your GoPro with OBS? In my case, it's connected to my A10 Mini Pro. So my A10 Mini Pro is basically my video capture device. It is a video switcher. It's not a capture device, but it's a video switcher, and it does the same thing. All my cameras are connected to that device, and then that is connected to the computer through USB. But if you don't have that, then you need a capture device. I'm not sure. Maybe some of the GoPros will allow you to just connect it by USB to a computer and use it, but I'm not sure about that. You would have to look that up. Let's see. Sweet Jamaica, if I can assume that that's what the name is. Thank you for following. Anyone know how to make your own DJ name drop on Virtual DJ or any other apps? Did you ask me this question, by the way, on IG? Someone asked me about DJ drops today. No, I don't think that was you. Look, when it comes to making your own DJ drop, you would have to record your own voice. Now, so you're gonna need a microphone to record your own voice. And most likely, if you're gonna make your own DJ drop, you'll probably want to really adjust that vocal to make it sound a little bit different. Or unless you just want it to sound like you and you want your own voice to say, hey, it's me. I don't think that's too dope. So I wouldn't want to start playing and have like a sample that says, hi, my name is DJ TLM. I don't think that's the thing. I would rather have a microphone and announce myself. That is live, and it's a way better way to interact. But if you're gonna use like a DJ drop, so for instance, for myself, I'll let someone do a DJ drop for me. I would use Fiverr, Fiverr.com. That's Fiverr with 2 R's. It's basically a platform where you can get people to do anything for you. People offer their services, so you can get like flyer designs done over there, logo designs, but also people who can make like intros for you, people who can produce music for you, but also drops. So for instance, I've done a couple of those for a mix, but that mix never happened yet. Or at least I did it once, but I didn't have my stuff prepared. But I have a couple of female vocals that I had someone had record for me. That did not come out right. Let me just reset the brain. So I went to Fiverr and I paid someone to record a couple of female drops for me. See, now the brain just went out of sync there for a second. And I just recently did the same thing for crates, so I'm gonna add that to my new live stream as well. So I'll let someone record that for me. To me, it's much doper to have another voice be the drop for you. And on the other side, I saw Gus Gomez just say, I noticed that you don't really use drops on your set. That's something I never did. I did do it a lot on my mixtapes. So on my mixtapes, I had crazy drops from artists. So I would always, whenever artists were in Amsterdam, I would connect and then I would let people record something for me. So I would just get over to them. And in the beginning, I didn't even have a recorder. Before I had an audio recorder, I would have people call my phone. So I would call my home phone, because on the home phone, we had an answering machine. I would call the home phone. It would go to the answering machine. Then I would give the artist the phone and let them do a quick shout out for me. So the shout out, the drop, basically the same thing. And on my mixtapes, I would always use drops like that. But during my live sets, I don't know, somehow I never really felt it. I did it a couple of times using those same drops from my mixtapes. But that was basically it. Beyond that, I didn't really use them. Wait, I'm on the, see if I can get these in here. Can I do this while I'm recording? I should be able to do this, right? Yeah. All right, let's see if we can hear this. You should be able to hear this because this is coming from the Rodecaster. I have them in the Rodecaster. It might be loud. Let me not play that too loud. Let's see.
Yo, what's up? This is your girl Cassie, and I'm chilling with my boy DJ TLM. Stay tuned.
Check it out, y'all. This Big L, straight from NYC, Harlem World. Chillin' with my man DJ TLM. Alright, the last Mohican. Keep putting it on.
So, for instance, that Big L is over the answering machine. And I was lucky I did that because that was his last time in Amsterdam. So I never got a chance to do it later. So I was there in time to do that. And I have that with a couple of artists that those artists aren't here anymore. And I used to use that. Yeah, so I have a Big L drop. And yo, Vinyl Touch, check this out.
Yo, check it out, it's VIP Prodigy.
Yeah, this the HAVOC Havoc.
You know what I mean? Infamous Mob Deep. Chillin' with DJ TLM, the last Mohican. Keep it locked, nigga, you heard?
I almost get sad when I hear that now. I mean, I know I'm happy that I have that, but the fact that those guys aren't here now anymore, you know? So I used those. I used to use those for mixtapes, and after that, I think I used them a couple more times. I mean, I'm on a roll now.
Yo, what's going on? This Andre 3000, one half of Outcast. We are transmitting straight from Stankonia. I'm laying low with the last Mohican. You know what I'm talking about? He's the one that's speaking. Lay low on the ones and twos. Yeah.
Know what it is, TLM in the house. Also, Outcast Stankonia, keeping it like that. Dungeon family, yeah.
Thank you very much.
I got more of those. I got mad drops, like crazy amounts of drops. But yeah, that's the thing. Like beyond that, beyond the mixtapes, I was hardly using them live. But sometimes it's cool to bring them out. I have more in here. I have Slum Village, but that was after Dilla. Dilla already passed. Otherwise, that would have been like ridiculous. But yeah, I got more peeps in there. Luckily, they're still all alive. But I thought it was flavor on mixtapes. I never really thought about it live, like using a lot of that. What's your preferred DJ software to use? Serato. That's my number one. And after that, it would be Record Box, I would have to say. I use a bunch. So I like Algorithm DJ as well. And I use that for certain controllers and for certain events, especially because they were one of the first with the live streaming capability. It was with Spotify back in the days. Now it's a little bit different. And for instance, I use Tractor when I'm using my S4. So, but Serato is the number one choice, 100%. Let's see what else. Hey, DJ Bell. Yeah, man, the DJ Q Up Summit was fun. That was a fun thing to do. Even though, I mean, our things weren't, like the talks we did weren't live, which on the one hand was actually a cool thing because it allowed me to really tell the story I wanted to tell in a compact version because the talk was longer. I cut it out. I mean, I really trimmed off the fat to make it like a concise short story, and then doing like the live Q&A afterwards was dope. I think it's a very dope event that they were able to organize. A lot of nice names in there. I mean, I went right after Craze, so I got to hear him first, and yeah, that was a dope event. I really hope people enjoyed it and it brought some value to people. The only thing that I have to do is go to the replays and really look at a lot of the other speakers because I didn't get a chance to check out a lot. Right after I did my Q Up Summit talk and Q&A, the second I went off air, I had to go on air to start my live mix show and play for 3 hours. So I missed all the speakers that came after me. But I will check that out during the replay. DJ Born, what up? Thanks for following. Sander, how do you choose a song for dropping on the one? I don't choose songs for dropping on the one. I decide to drop it on the one while I'm playing. So if I'm playing a song and I find the song that I want to play next, I load that song, and that's when I decide if it's going to be a blend or a drop on the one. So it depends. If I load that new song And of course, if I see it and recognize it and know the song, and I know the song, then I already know how the song begins. So if I know that I'm loading a song that just starts with vocals straight away, then I already know, okay, this is not going to be a transition. This is going to be a drop on the 1. Or sometimes I'll load a song and I'll bring it in and I'll check to see if the blend is going to be cool. And after a couple of seconds, I can tell, like, okay, I'm just going to sync them up best I can, but then I'm going to drop it on the 1. And other times I'll load a song and I'll be like, okay, this is definitely going to be a mixed transition. So I never choose a song to drop on the 1. That happens after I choose the song. That's when I decide how it's going to be brought in. It's funny because I'm watching the chat here that is like where I'm like 30 minutes behind, and sometimes I'll look at my screen where I see the chat on screen, which is like the on time thing. So sometimes I'll see things that will come up later here. So I see DJ Gus Gomez say, like, lean back, you never blend that. And that is like the perfect example, Gus Gomez. I've been witness to a bunch of different DJs bringing that song in on the 1. Before I continue, Vinyl Touch, the chat is not 30 minutes behind. I'm 30 minutes behind because when I stop to answer a question, then I continue, and then I continue to scroll, and then I can tell by the time that I'm a half hour behind. So I can scroll down and catch up, but then I'm going to miss a bunch of questions. So Gus Gomez, I've seen a bunch of DJs blend that track in, and every time I've heard it, it sounded awful. For the people that don't understand, if you know the song Lean Back by Fat Joe Terror Squad, that is one of those songs that has an epic intro. That intro was really made to just bring in on the 1. So of course, technically, you can mix it. It can be done, no doubt. It's just a waste of good intro to me, especially when I hear DJs bring it in and they're doing it subtle. So they might take some of the low end out. We as DJs can already hear it coming. The crowd really doesn't because they don't hear it the same way we hear it. And then they only do the true switch after that intro, and then that beat just comes in. And you can just tell, like, some people are caught off guard because they didn't really notice it. If you have a track that has an intro like that, you want that intro to be on its own. Da, 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 da. You need that to be the thing. Everyone knows straight away, oh, it's on. Okay, this is it. There's a couple of songs that have that. So, yeah. All right, let me get back to this side again. Actually, Party Up DMX is the same thing. I think I've done that blend 1 or 2 times. Yeah, it didn't really add anything to blend that. You just want to bring that in on the 1. 100% agree. What's your favorite way of backing out of a track if you realize you read the room wrong and the crowd is not feeling the track? DJ QRX, that is a great question. I just try to get out of it as fast as I can. So, if I bring a track in and I can tell people are just totally not feeling it, my first instinct is grab a song that will work. I mean, we all know that if you're playing at certain parties where certain genres are being played, you have the hits. So most likely you can think of a song that will always work for people. Grab one of those songs. Get that queued up, not for a blend most of the time, but get that queued up. And basically, as soon as I have that ready, I will echo the other song out, grab a mic, say something, and bring that hit in. I'm not going to wait until that gets to a chorus, let the chorus finish. Now, I'm actually really trying to get out of that song as fast as I can. Now, you don't want to do it like crazy abruptly, so I'll try to find, timing-wise, something that sounds logical, so at least let it finish like a phrase. But Yeah. I try to get out. Like I've seen that happen like that. I thought I was making a right decision. I brought that track in, and like I could tell, like nobody's feeling this right now. This is like totally killing the vibe that I've built up to this point. People will rather have you just take that out and bring something new in instead of being like technically correct and okay, I'm gonna wait until this is at the chorus, then I'm gonna do a transition. No one's caring about any transition at that point. Just get it out, get the new song in. That's at least what I do. What's the best for arranging mixes, Logic or Ableton? No, there's no real answer for that. Blackout. That really depends. But for arranging mixes, so you're not talking about mixing a song, you're talking about arranging mixes. So for making a mixtape, is that what you mean? I never did that in Logic or Ableton, by the way, so I can't really comment on those two for recording a mixtape. I used to do that a lot of times with Cubase, and a couple of times I've done it with Audition. But I don't think you can say that there's a best. People can jump in if they want to, but Harry, let me know if you mean arranging like a mixtape or if you mean something else. How much have you dabbled in edits and mashups? Not a lot. Mashups, when I did mashups, normally it was live. I would do like live mashups. I didn't really do a lot of like edit mashups. Yeah, that's basically it. And what software do you use? Well, basically, when I did it, it was either with like Cubase or something like Audition. Even though I think probably for mashups, I think Ableton with the warping would probably be even a better option. But I haven't worked with that yet. But I think that would be the better option. Mixmaster G says, Layback Luke said, I learned scratching to fix train wreck transitions. Okay, that could be a possibility. But Mixmaster, you're answering the best way to back out of a track. Scratching is not the best option to back out of a track, because then you start scratching with the track. That's not really helping. Or maybe you mean it in a different way. So maybe I'm not understanding it right. All right. Yeah, okay. So yeah, that's my thing as well. You could do something in Logic or in Ableton or in Cubase, and it is definitely about some personal preference there. How do I get started regarding copyright when I do mixtapes and want to sell them? You cannot. Simple as that. Simple as that. When you do mixtapes and you're using music that you do not own, you legally cannot sell that. It is as simple as that. Now, have people done that? Always. But sometimes people will get caught. If it's on a small scale, chances that you'll get in trouble are slim. Once you get bigger, it's different. And I've seen it happen here in the Netherlands. In the past, we had a couple of guys who used to do like these compilation CDs. So they weren't even mixed CDs, but compilation CDs, and they were selling them everywhere. And at a certain point, they got raided. In the US, the same thing happened at a certain point with DJ Drama. He was doing like crazy numbers with the mixtapes. They got raided by the feds. Everything got just confiscated, and you name it. So it is never legal to sell something you do not own. It's as simple as that. Back in the days when we were doing it with tapes, we would always put like for promotional use only on those tapes. As if that would make it legal, and then we were selling them. But the thing is, you're actually not even allowed to press up copies of other people's music on tapes or CDs and hand it out either. You're not even actually allowed to do that, even though you call it for promo. That's just not how it works. You're still handing out people's music without owning the rights to it. So there is no legal way. Okay, Gus Gomez is on Twitch. There we go. We have our first conversion. And of course, now things have changed with digitally with all the content ID. makes it even harder for people. Right. Let's see. No one really talks about it, but they sent an email in November. Vinyl Touch, are you talking about the about Twitch? I mean, I've seen people all talk about it online, and gamers being deleted, even when they had clips on their channel and they deleted the clips, they still got their channel deleted. I mean, there's definitely a chance that DJs are next on Twitch. Now that so many DJs are there, so we'll have to wait and see. And I mean, Amazon is definitely not gonna. They don't care about us. They're not gonna try to make arrangements to make that work. And I mean, for gamers, there's already other options because they can use certain services that have copyright-free music for them. For instance, Stream Beats is one of those services, and they offer music to streamers to play in the background. But that's for gamers. They can play music in the background. I mean, for us, that doesn't make sense. We have to be the ones actually playing music. So, yeah. We'll have to wait and see. Right now, I mean, we're super small time compared to a lot of these gamers, but yeah. So it's not true that no one's speaking about that email. I mean, I've seen plenty of content about that email. I definitely think so. I know, Dr. Jeremy, YouTube is not DJ friendly, and it's not just YouTube. It's just all of the places who don't feel that it's in their best interest to make deals with the labels about this. So that goes for YouTube and Facebook and you name it. Can we still see any of the previous YouTube shows? All of the Share the Knowledge shows are there. None of the mixed shows are there. I already deleted all of those. So those are not there because they were blocked anyway. So I couldn't show the old ones, and the last one is just gone straight away. So Gus Gomez, thanks for the follow, bro. Yeah. All right. Ah, Heimer, uit Rotterdam. Oké dan. De buren. When you scratch and drop on the one, do you drop on the beginning of the first verse or jump to the chorus? No, when I drop on the one, I just bring it in from the beginning of the track. That's what I normally do. Right, all right. Let me see if I can just speed this up a little bit because I'm still scrolling here and I'm still like 30 minutes behind compared to what's happening on the other side. DJ Born, I see you. I see the boy Mixcloud is missing. I already saw that. Yeah, we talked about that already, the Mixcloud video thing and the app, and they're a little bit behind. So you know what? I'm just going to scroll ahead and hope I didn't miss too much over here. All right, what's the difference between subs and bits in Twitch? I'm not even the best to explain that, but a subscription is a subscription, and that is a certain amount, and then you're subscribed for a month, and that doesn't come with extra perks. It's just a way to support the channel. And bits are actually just like small mini donations on Twitch. It's all to support the streamer. It's always for a streamer to monetize and make a little bit of extra money. And for some DJs that works really well. I can see when I see some of the DJs when they're streaming, when they're mixing live, their audience just goes wild, and it's their audience mostly consists of people who would normally go out and now they go watch a DJ. I mean, for me, it's a little bit different. Even when I do my mix shows, like I think 90% of my audience is DJs. So that's a different type of audience. And they react differently compared to like a quote unquote normal crowd. But I can see how for some of the DJs that is actually working, and those people who watch are actually constantly sending bits. And those DJs are now treating that as a total job. And they do like 5 and 6 hour sets. And they also do that because they can continue to get new people come in who send them bits and subscriptions, and for them it's like a replacement income compared to what their DJing was. So that's pretty cool. I don't know how else to explain it, by the way. It's not really easy to see what's broadcasting live if you don't specifically search for it. That's probably on Mixcloud still, right? Yeah, I'm gonna scroll ahead. The Boys Saturday Super Sessions. No, it's gonna be a long time. It's gonna be a long time. First, I'm gonna do some Saturday sessions, and I have something new planned for that. Saturday Super Sessions. It's gonna be a while. I was hoping to do some of these this year, but no. Oh yeah, the Prime subscription on Twitch has another perk. You don't get ads for that channel. Thank you, Philip. That is a fact. That's also a thing that goes away. A Restless Real Fast S11 versus S9. S11. I have an S9 favorite mixer. If my S9 could have a screen, that would be my favorite mixer. So S11 would be the one. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna do something now. I'm gonna scroll ahead a bunch, and if I missed you, then you gotta come back to me. Oh, now I see a couple that I have to answer. DJ Name Vest, thank you. I did change that overlay a little bit with a couple of little animations. That's a continuous process for me as well with this whole streaming thing, like working on that. A couple of other things I still want to add and change and experiment with every time I'm streaming. But yeah, I like the new one as well. The old ones, I had like the bottom with the yellow around it. I wanted to make it more cohesive, so now I have that yellow outline around everything. And then I got the little animation thing that shows the last events and stuff, and the socials coming through. So yeah, man, thank you. All right. DDJ Pioneer. Let's see, DDJ 1000, Record Box, Virtual DJ. Are there other DJ hardware components to complement the DJ 1000? Wow. I don't know. Is there anything that's missing for you when you're playing now, JJ? So when you're out with your set and you have your DDJ 1000, which is a great controller. I really, really like that one. I have the SRT here. I think I like the 1000 more than I like the SRT, even though they're not that different. But is there anything that's missing for you? That's the most important thing. Like, I can think of anything off the top that I would say, like, hey, that is something you should add to a setup like that. So that's what you have to think about. As a DJ, do you have to pay to stream your mixes on Mixcloud? You need a subscription. You need a Mixcloud subscription for streaming. Yes. So it's not free. That is part of the deal there. So yeah, Mixmaster G, like, that's my opinion as well. Like, DDJ is pretty much all you need, unless you have something really specific that you can't do with that. Insanity Kyle, what up? And I know that was sent half an hour ago, so you're probably not watching anymore because this is not as exciting for you as that Monday stream. Yeah, I'm gonna scroll ahead right now. Sorry for people that I haven't answered. If you want me to answer again, just holla back and send that question again. I want to catch up. All right. So, can you name a few of your favorite tunes to mix or scratch with? No, not really. And that sounds weird, but like I love mixing music. I don't really have like favorites. Like, ooh, I love to mix that one. I had that when I was younger, but the problem with that is that you end up realizing that you're doing a bunch of the same mixes a bunch of times, and I don't like to do that too much. But you can scratch with anything. I have special scratch breaks that I can use for scratching, but a lot of times when I'm mixing live, I will take any part of a song and use that. So a lot of time with my transitions, I will... when I'm doing the transition at a certain point, I've taken like the low end out of the track that I'm going to take out. That's playing the chorus. So there's vocals, and a lot of times I'll find a piece of that vocal and just grab that and scratch a couple of bars with that before I'm at the end of my transition. So I'll use whatever I can get my hands on, and I'm going to do that right after the stream because I didn't have a chance to do it. Once I get that new feature in my 72 where I can get the scratch banks, that is probably something that I will start to use then. For people who don't know, the scratch bank basically means that you can use your performance pads, and now it adds a new layer where you can have a scratch or a sound underneath all of those pads that you can use for scratching. And it's now been added for the 72 as well. So I need to update the firmware on that, and then I can get some samples in there. So in that case, it will make it easier for me to grab one of those samples for scratching. But a lot of times in my transitions, I'll just grab whatever's there. Soul Clap, thanks for the follow. I even saw a subscription. I'm going to scroll through my other screen in a second because I think someone subscribed, and I have to make sure I thank you for that. Let's see. What kind of camera is that? Do you use with OBS? I'm currently using my M50, my Canon M50, and I am using Stream Elements OBS. Yes. And I can go up a little bit now because I'm back up again. Beat Junkies have some great scratch lessons, 100%, and they have scratch courses. Do you have any favorite DJ course or school or channel to learn from? I'm gonna do the shameless plug now. I mean, yes, I will give you a straight answer. You can get, like, if you're looking for a DJ school, Beat Junkies is a great DJ school. If you're looking for courses, you got Digital DJ Tips, Crossfader, places like that. But the shameless plug would be, if you're a beginner DJ, I'm launching my first DJ course very soon. It's probably going to be the beginning of next year, and most likely I'm going to do a special pre-sale around Christmas. So yeah, that's the answer right there. All right, back down. I saw something about how which DJs do you rate? Which DJs do I rate? You need to rephrase that for me so I understand. Or do you mean which DJs do I rate high? Let me know what you mean with that. When I'm streaming on my DDJ 1000, sometimes I get glitching in my sound on my live. Wondering if that could come from cheap RCA jacks. I don't think so. I think most likely it's going to be glitches due to CPU overloads. I think that can cause that issue. So are you streaming from the same computer you're DJing on? Because it might be that it's just a little bit too much for the computer, that the buffer size needs, the boy answers as well, buffer size could be an issue. That would be a good thing to test first. Go into the buffer size. That could be the thing. But do you hear this? Do you hear the glitches in the room as well? Or do you just hear them in the stream? That's important. Okay, you mean which DJs do I like? I mean, there's plenty of DJs I like. I don't really see a lot of DJs nowadays, though. So there's DJs that I always admire, DJs that I've got to see live and even gotten to play with. So I mention the same names basically every time. Like Jazzy Jeff, of course, is always in there. For me, DJ Cash Money is in there, DJ Scratch. Newer DJs, at least for me, they came later. Like a Scratch Bastard is definitely in there as well. Not even mentioning like the turntablists that I always looked up to, like the Beat Junkies, like the Invisible Scratch Pickles, like the Executioners, rest in peace, Rock Raider. But when I look at like the more club DJs, I tend to look at the club DJs who are also the turntablists, like the Jazzy Jeffs and the DJ Scratches and the Cash Monies. Those are DJs I just love to watch and hear. Eric Vincent, thanks for following. And I got to get my other screen in here. I want to quickly see. I'm going to do that right now. I want to quickly see who actually was there. So I need to scroll. There you go. DJ QRX, thank you for that subscription. I really appreciate that. Thanks for that support. DJ Zero, what up? Thank you for following. And then we got the 10-inch long King Kong Dong following as well. DJ Cam following. And we got, what we got here? H-Bomb Gillis. See, I hate it with those names. Some probably mispronounced, but thank you for following. And the soul clap, same to you. So I think that's it. I think I'm catching up. Luckily, let's see what Vess just said. I saw his name. I saw the name come by. Are there any up and coming DJs that impress you, local or international? See, that's the hard thing. Like I don't see enough DJs to really answer that. Like for me, Red Bull 3 style changed things a little bit, where I started to see like new DJs that I hadn't really seen before, because I don't see a lot of DJs in clubs. Now, I already had the DJs that I did know, and then the turntablist I knew, but when Red Bull 3 style came around, you started to see, by the way, salute DJ Craze when it comes to turntablists as well. And after that, I also saw him like play as a club DJ. But 3 style came around, and then I started to see a lot of DJs that had like the turntablism skills, but also the club rocking skills, do like dope creative sets. And then I started to see a lot of DJs I never saw before. So for instance, SK83, I'd never seen him before, saw a Red Bull 3 style set. And I was like, whoa. Now, I mentioned Scratch Bastard a couple of times, Four Color Zach. There's a bunch of guys that I saw there that were like really impressive and just dope to see. I can't really think of a lot of names now, but through Red Bull 3 style, I definitely got introduced to more DJs that were playing in a style that I really liked, or that really kind of inspired me to think like, hey, maybe I should sometime think about also putting together little routines. Something that still hasn't happened though. I'm still freestyling all the way. I get that question sometimes too, like when people see my live streams when I'm mixing, like do you prepare this? Nothing on those live streams is prepared. Not even when I start looping and adding stuff over that. All of that is just stuff that I think of on the fly while I'm going for it. So yeah, that's basically that. Stu, what up? Je komt ook nog even langs hier though. Wood chip, I see you. Yes, sir. So yeah, that's great. I caught up. Hey, wait, since I caught up, I can actually finally go back to what I was doing, answering the questions from my IG. I actually never got past the first couple of questions. So let me just grab that and pull that up now. How long did it take you to learn the basics of mixing tunes into each other when you first got into DJing? I don't remember. I don't remember how long that took. I just know that I was spending ridiculous amounts of time. Anytime I could spare, I would be behind my decks and playing music, recording my mixes, sitting down. So I would pop in a tape, 90-minute tape, just record one side, 45 minutes, just mixing, just grabbing tracks and mixing. Once the tape was done, one side, I would stop, I would rewind, I would sit down, and I would listen to the 45 minutes I just did. And then I would hear what I did right and wrong. Because when you're in the learning stage, you're spending a lot of time thinking while you're actually playing, because you still have to learn all of the mechanics. Same thing when you're driving, and I know for my US peeps, it's probably not as relatable because a lot of you do not drive a stick, you drive automatic. But when you learn how to drive here, there's no automatic, it's all stick shift. So in the beginning, when you start learning how to drive and you know, okay, I'm about to do a corner, I have to go back into second gear. So now I have to first hit the clutch and do this and do this. So it's a thought process. At a certain point, you're not thinking. I never think about shifting when I'm driving. It happens automatically. The same thing with DJing. So when you're in the beginning stage and you listen back to something you just recorded, you notice things you didn't notice before. So I might notice that, hey, my levels were way off. Because I was so focused on having the records play in sync, I wasn't paying enough attention to my gain. So then you start to pay attention to that. Or then you hear like, hey, I didn't really EQ that well. You can totally hear that those two basses are too loud. So I just mixed over and over and over and over and over. I don't have any idea how long that took me. I know I had an advantage because I knew how to drum. I had that, the drumming skill helps out a lot because a lot of things just made sense to me because I didn't have a DJ teacher. I taught myself how to DJ, but a lot of things just made sense. So for me, it automatically made sense when to start a transition. No one had to teach me that. I could just tell, like, okay, like this makes perfect sense. This is where it needs to start. That is like the one, even though I wasn't really thinking in those terms. Then my ear could also kind of catch key, so that helps as well. But a lot of the things I actually learned later on, like, oh, this is how you call this and this is how you call that, and that is phrase mixing. I never heard the term phrase mixing until maybe 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I think. I mean, phrases I heard a little bit earlier, but phrase mixing, I never used that term before. But because of my drumming background, my rhythmic ear understood. Like same thing with, if I had an acapella, I knew exactly when I needed to bring it in just because the timing was in me already. Can you mix with real records? It would be nice to take us back to the beginning. Raul, no disrespect, of course, but you don't think this is just decoration, right? This is my school right here. This is what I used to learn how to DJ. I DJ'd for probably 15 years, close to that, before I ever saw anything digital. So yes. But like I said, I'm planning to do live streams every now and then where I'm going to use vinyl. But that's going to take some preparation because, like I explained, there's no particular order here. So I really have to go through my collection and grab a bunch of tracks out of there and get some crates ready and have crates set up to really play from that. So yeah, that will definitely happen, and I definitely know how to play on that. Desiree, thank you for following and welcome. And Andrew, salute to you as well. Did you know how big shows, do you know how big shows record sets perfectly and add crowd noise to it? So first off, when it comes to big shows, all of the equipment is routed to a PA system. So imagine there being like a great big mixer where everything will come in. So if there's DJs, the DJ setup is going into the PA system, all microphones. If there's bands, all of the instruments, everything comes into the PA. It is possible to record what happens, everything that comes into the PA. And it's even possible to record that multi-track. So you can record it in software and have every track separate in your software so people can actually mix the entire sound of the event after the event. That's how you get that audio right. And a lot of times they will actually just have a mic or a couple of mics set up that are there to record the ambiance and record the crowd. And then they can just, as the same way they're mixing the sound of the show, they can add the sound of the crowd. So that's when you see like you buy like live DVDs, you get great audio quality, great sound, and at the end of the songs you get that crowd reaction because they record that as well. So that's what they normally do. Yeah, I'm having fun too. We got a lot of great questions here today. So yes, I'm enjoying this to the fullest right now. M. Boutman, or are you Dutch and is it Boutman? The DJ table behind me. I was at a DJ summit here in the Netherlands, like I don't know how many years ago, and I was talking to someone there, and he was talking about that he had like 200 of these DJ. It's not even really a table. I can't really show you right now, but it's a special like small DJ booth that was built for a turntable setup. So I bought 2 of them, and I used them for a long time, and I absolutely hate them now, and I'm getting rid of that one soon and getting a second desk to use because it's so unstable now. But it was cool at the time because I have just a desk top on top of it, because if I take that off, the thing that is holding all of my equipment, under that they have a metal construction that was built in the exact shape to place one turntable here. In the middle it had a shape that would fit a mixer, and on the other side it would fit one more turntable. So you can't place anything else on it because it was specifically made for that. And then it had an extra extension with like sort of a laptop stand, which was a clunky, way too large metal piece. So yeah, at a certain point I wanted to use all sorts of equipment on it, and you couldn't really place that on the metal that was there. Why is my camera recording? That is nonsense. So I started to just put wooden planks on top of it and use that as a table. So it served me well for quite some time, but you can't really compare it to the desk that I have here. It's way more steady, way more stable than that. And this is height adjustable. That has a couple of different settings for height, but this one can just be set to any height. So yeah, it was, I don't even remember the brand. I bought them for cheap, and they served me well for a long time, but no, I would not advise anyone to get something like this. For instance, if you have a controller, you can't even place it on there unless you place an extra wooden piece on top of it. Philip, thank you for joining and subscribing. I didn't even see that, bro. Dope, dope, dope. When do you know, DJ Born, when do you know, if ever, to say I'm done with DJing? Is the age, the following, or keeping up with the trend? Because like you said, 3-style got me inspired again. I had to ask. I mean, that is a personal thing for everyone. Like for me, I will never get tired of DJing and done with DJing. But I might feel at a certain point that I don't have or feel any joy for going out to play, because club gigs are something that I really enjoy, but it also brings a lot of disruption into a quote unquote normal life. So for instance, I deal with my normal family life where I have kids and they're in school, and a lot of days you have to wake up crazy early. And if I have a weekend where I have a Friday and a Saturday gig where I get home at 6, 7 in the morning, that Sunday alone is not enough for me to adjust back to my normal time. And that kind of bothers me when I get back to a normal weekday schedule. There are workarounds for that, and I still enjoy doing that, but I could see myself at a certain point being like, yo, maybe I'll do this every once in a while, but for the rest I'm tired of those clubs. But then I'll still have my fun at home. And especially now with live streaming coming back, for me at least, I don't have to go out. So if I want to get the joy of DJing, I can do that from the comfort of my own home. But it all depends. And yeah, something like 3-style could inspire you again. Something like live streaming again has got me going again, where first I had to get the rust off a little bit. Now I'm starting to get more in my zone. I'm not there yet, but it's getting like better. Monday was okay to me. It was cool, but I was going on 1 hour sleep, and at a certain point I started to feel that. So I did not have the energy I wanted to have, but that is definitely giving me some new life. But I don't know if that really inspires me to want to do more clubs. I like the live streaming thing as well, but we'll have to wait and see what happens with clubs anyway. But once they come back and I get bookings again, I'll be out on the road again, that's for sure. What's the purpose of a sound card? Its basic purpose is to get sound into your computer, and it also gets sound out of your computer. So let's say you buy a laptop or a PC. If that has like an input for your headphones, that is also the sound card. So that allows you to connect your headphones and listen to it. it also sends the sound to the speakers. And if it has like an input, like a mic input, that can then get the audio into the computer. So that is all it's there for. Same as a video card, a graphics card in a computer. It handles the graphics. That's all it is. Using records is a lot harder than using MP3, is just my opinion. That all depends on what you're using. So, okay, let's put it like this. If you're gonna play records and you compare it to playing with DVS, let's say Serato, and you have your Serato in relative mode, so you're basically not dealing with skipping, and you can do your instant doubles, it makes your life more comfortable. That is a fact. When you're using records, you have to deal with a lot of extra things that can go wrong, things that are not skill related per se. So for instance, if you have a record that has like a mark in it, it could skip your needle. That's not a skill issue, that's a vinyl issue. You're not gonna have that with your DVS the same way. It could be that one of your vinyls is a little bit warped, and then when you scratch, the needle will jump off. Now that could happen with control vinyl, but I haven't had that happen yet. But the process is the same. My beat matching works the same when I'm doing Serato or using actual vinyl. It's the same movement, it's the same techniques. There's not a lot of difference in there. Now, instant doubles is faster, but I used to always do the transition, and when the new track was in, I would quickly grab the second copy, get that on, and then I will be going. That takes a little bit longer. I have to do an extra step, but that's basically it. So I don't know, I cannot call it a lot harder. Now, if you compare that to using a controller and playing digitally with a controller, and now all of a sudden, if you normally use controllers, you have to learn how to play with turntables, that's a different discussion. But using records is not a lot harder than playing with DVS. It's just more steps, more things that can go wrong. Mixing vinyl is more fun sound wise. You should try it. Yeah. I mean, we can go into that, like that vinyl sounds warmer, and I agree to a certain degree, because I also experienced the other side of that coin, and that is that when you're playing out live and you're playing with real vinyl and you're standing on top of a large hollow stage, what happens to us vinyl DJs then? We have to deal with the feedback. And the CDJ DJs that were standing next to me had none of those issues because they were going digitally. And then I had to deal with the fact that when I had to turn my vinyl up more, so I had to turn my volume up more because I was not reaching the same volume as those other DJs, I had to deal with the feedback. So yeah, if you're playing at home, mixing vinyl is more fun. If you're playing in a place that has like good audio, everything is well, like a solid stage, yeah. But I've also played plenty of stages where I was playing my real vinyl and there was like a rumble because there was like a woofer too close to the stage, and that actual vibration would make your needle skip, something that wouldn't really happen if you're using DVS in relative mode. Even if it hops off the vinyl once every now and then, you're not skipping. So I mean, I've had tons of fun with my vinyl, but I don't miss playing with real vinyl. But it's going to be fun to do it every now and then for a live stream. 100%. How do you get the passion back when you feel like it's not fun anymore? There is no answer for that. Everyone will find their own passion in different places. So if you've lost that feeling, then that feeling is gone, and you might get it back through some experience. Maybe you see or hear something that will get you back into it. Maybe you don't. I don't know. I don't know. There is no solution for that. There's no formula for getting your passion for something back. If you feel like it's not fun anymore, the first thing you should decide or think about is, why is it not fun for me anymore? That's where it needs to start. It could be a specific thing. I've told this story many times that when I started to do a couple of corporate gigs where I did not play the way I wanted to play, I could feel after the event that I was not happy about what I just did. I did not feel the same level of joy that I normally feel when I play. It didn't take me long to realize why I felt that way. It was because of the way I was playing at that gig, the type of people I was playing for at that gig. So I realized, like, this is not what I want to do, because this is going to take the joy out of it for me. So that's important. You need to be reflecting and finding out what it is. All right. Any tips on getting that spark of DJing after long? Oh, wait, are these all the same type of questions? Are we on the motivational side of things right now? So Restless says, check other DJs mixes that you inspired. That gets me motivated. Yeah, that can work for some people. I mean, I have the same thing when I watch people make music. Then all of a sudden I want to start making beats, and I have to cut the video short to start doing my own thing. So that could help. Like I said, for me, it was just the fact of beginning again live streaming. I caught the bug there. I still like DJing. I just didn't spend too much time on it. And I got more of that vibe back through live streaming. So anything could be the trigger for you. Nomis is getting inspired. Yeah, Kane, you know what I was talking about. That was club tracks indeed. Yeah, man, they used to be everywhere here. Those CDs were being sold everywhere. Best budget speakers for outside and inside. All right, I don't know if people answered that yet, but Philip needs some help with that. The best budget speakers for outside and inside, a couple of them, not just one for like a max of 500. So if anyone has any good suggestions for that, holla right here. Shredder Kiss, Chris, thank you for following. Okay, nice. Yeah, man, the theater tours were always dope to do. And I mean, I'm pretty sure we'll do one again in the future. That's for sure. Where can I find Scratch Back and Forth interactive session? Those are called the Saturday sessions on my YouTube channel. So just go to the DJ TLM TV page and hit the search there. Saturday sessions. I have Saturday sessions. Those are the interactive scratch sessions. And then I also have a couple of Saturday super sessions. And those are like compilation videos of a bunch of DJs scratching over one of my beats. But the normal Saturday sessions are the interactive versions of that. So DJ and Invest, that is true. Beat Junkies have something similar. Is it called Homeroom? I didn't know the name. Do you like funk? For example, records like The Dealers, Barcase, Chocolate Milk. Yes, indeed. Love funk. Parliament Funkadelic, all that. Super dope. Ohio Players, you name it. I can't find a record pool with rare funk music. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a lot of that going around. Beat Junkies has a little bit of that. That might just be a rights issue, or that a lot of DJ pools feel like it's not interesting enough because it's not going to pull in enough DJs. I'm not sure about that. But that's a complaint I hear often, that there's not many DJ pools for a lot of that type of old school stuff. All right, I got to be fast before you guys jump in that chat again and get to any more questions here. All right, so there's another question here. Let's see. All right, lately since the pandemic, especially, I've just been feeling slowed down with my growth as a DJ. And I know it's common nowadays, but I wanted to know if you had any ideas or tips for me to maybe work myself out of this funk. Well, basically, I guess that's what we've been already talking about people needing that spark, needing that motivation, and this kind of falls into that category. Even though, let me see, what else did you say? Growth as in picking gigs back up and getting back out into the scene. Okay, but I don't think that is really a thing right now, right? I mean, for most of us in most places, there is no such thing as picking gigs back up again. I might be mistaken here, but I don't think a lot of places are back open again. So, I mean, with regards to that, I think most DJs are in the same position. In a lot of places, there are no gigs or just not a lot of gigs. So that's probably not really catching up right now. So I don't know about that. If that's what you're talking about your growth as a DJ, this is just not a great time for growth as a DJ. But you should take advantage of the time that you have to actually. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. Australia is in full swing again. Is that true? Is that really happening? I mean, I do see some footage from places where I see parties going on. So maybe it is a fact that in some places that is happening. But look, if that's not the case where you are at, you should spend that time to just work on you and work on your skill as DJing and you name it. Or find other things that you can do in the meantime. Yeah, okay. Australia was kind of, I don't know if it's totally gone, those two, but I think they are really, that was one of the places where I did see some footage from. And in some Asian countries, other Asian countries, they were also, okay, Mixmaster G says, I can tell Asian and Australia are reopening based on the sales of my tools. Yeah. So maybe there it is, in fact, the case. In the Western world here, it's a little bit different still. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how it is for them there where they're opening up again. If DJs are just all getting their old gigs back or I can't really comment on that. I have no idea what's happening in those places. So one more thing there. Okay, for Twitch setup, what camera and lighting would you recommend? Start with whatever camera you can start with. Like I said before, very important, audio. Make sure you get your audio right. That is probably more important than even your video. And what lighting I would recommend. Look, lighting is important to get the video quality up. If you don't want to spend too much when you're starting out. It's pretty affordable to get your hands on a nice set of softbox lights. They're just not small, so you can get them quite cheap, but they take up a lot of space. I've showed this in the live stream once before, where I put one behind me. You can see like it's a massive thing, but they do give a lot of great light. So I have lights here that work great, but they're just more expensive. These are the Elgato key lights. They're just way more expensive. I would not, if you're starting out streaming, spend money like that on lights just to begin with, because you can get like an entire softbox set for cheaper than one of these Elgato lights, and then you're just good to go. But that's just an important thing. Camera-wise, I mean, you can use webcams. They can connect straight to the computer. I'm not a big fan of webcams because a lot of times I do feel they react weird to light, but maybe that's a settings thing. But once you get into the camera game, you can use a bunch of different types of cameras, but just realize that you will also need a capture device to connect it to your computer. The best way to practice using Scratch Bank on Rain mixers. I don't know if there's a best way to practice with that. I'm going to install it right after the stream, and then I'm going to get busy with it. So I'll talk about that next week. And let's see here. Oh, and I got one cancellation. D-Boy 020 did not make it today because he's going to check a football game. All good. He's gonna check the replay. Smooth Will isn't here though. That's not a question. I don't know if we talked about that yet. Reckless. Oh no, we got Restless here, but Reckless here asked how to start with Twitch. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think we talked about that yet. But I mean, how to start with Twitch is just to start. That's basically all there's to it. So if you know that your DJ skills are at least up to par so that you can do a nice mix and you have the equipment to get started, just start. I mean, in the beginning, you're not going to have any viewers anyway. Or you have to have a large group of friends who you can actually get to come watch your stream. But in the beginning, it's not like you're going to have like an audience yet. So you can work on learning how to do it with the setup and just practice, because in the beginning you're probably going to be thinking about more than just DJing and you need to get accustomed to things, but you need to just start so you can feel out how it actually is. That's my best advice for that. Just start. Do you have Serato video and do you record video mixes? I have Serato video. I've done a lot of work with Serato video, not like I've done a couple of like sets in clubs where I was playing videos with Serato video. I've used Serato video for an entire theater tour where we did like 70 shows or 75 shows, I think. And I was the musical director of that theater program. And I also did a couple of special interludes with video using Serato video. So I provided the music with Serato, and then I did a couple of special like little routines with video. And we would use the entire back wall of whichever theater we were in, and the entire back wall would be my backdrop. And we would have projection on that. So you would have a large projection, and then I would do a couple of video things with Serato video. No, the last time I did things with video, I actually didn't use Serato video, but then I used Algorithm DJ on the iPad and used that to play videos using a DDJ 400. So that was a different type of setup. And how do you record your video mixes? So no, I'm not doing video mixes now. So I'm not recording them. If I would go back to that, I would probably just take the output from my laptop, send it to my ATEM Mini Pro, and just record in there, or connect it to the computer and record in OBS. One of the two, I think. What capture device do you use for your Canon M50? So currently I'm on my ATEM Mini Pro. That's my Blackmagic design. That is a video switcher. And normally I will have multiple cameras connected to that. In this case, I actually don't. So I only have this camera connected and my laptop is connected. That's it. Normally I will have an overhead cam. I can connect 4 video devices, and I can switch between those. I can even do picture in picture. This won't make sense because I'll probably just have a smaller version of the same video in. Let me see. Did I do that? Is there anything in yet? Yeah, I can do picture in picture, but like this, it doesn't really make sense. That only makes sense if there's like a different view. And that is the ATEM Mini Pro is connected to my computer. Now there is a cheaper version called the ATEM Mini that does the same thing. The only difference with the ATEM Mini Pro is this one can also broadcast straight from the device. So I could also live stream straight from this device instead of going into the computer. But I prefer going into the computer now because with OBS, I can do a lot more with overlays and stuff like that. DJ Kane wants to know how long it took for my 12-inch skins order to come in. I cannot tell you, bro. Because let me look that up real quick. Let's see. Videos. Because I have to go to the search feature. So my 12-inch skins video on my YouTube channel, I made that once I got that set in. And that video was shot in That was 8 years ago. So you can imagine that I have no clue how long that order took to come in. But this was my old set. That's my DJM 909. And I had a special skin on that 909, so you can just it's an adhesive skin you put on. And then I also had custom deck plates on my SL1200s, and that made up like the entire look. I had the same skin on my black MacBook. Oh, there it is. So that was just one dope entire set. But like I said, that's 8 years ago, so I cannot tell you how long it took to get that. DJ Rookie, if you check my kit page, so that's KIT, go to kit.co/DJTLM. Let me just bring that in for you. If you go to kit.co, you can actually see all of my different setups. Let me see if I can bring that in so you can see it better. Hold up. Should be able to see it now. Yeah, kit.co/DJTLM. I have a bunch of different sets on there. And if we go to my, oh wait, there it is. Right there. For instance, you got my live streaming kit. And if you go to that kit, if it wants to load. Oh. There you have it. And there you can see all of the different gear. So that should tell you enough. All right. My thoughts on the S11 compared to the 72. I mean, they have pretty similar features. My personal preference would be the S11 for the simple fact that I love my S9. I love my 72. I like the Reloop Elite as well. I think the S9 is my favorite because it is the most basic. And that is something I really, really love about it. And not even feature-wise, because it's not like it's so far behind compared to a 72. For my workflow, I just love the way the S9 works. And the S11 is that S9, but with the one feature that I really liked about the 72. And that is that screen in the middle. So if I had to pick, the S11 would be my pick. But there's nothing wrong with the 72. They will come very, very close. But the simplicity of the Pioneer style is what I really, really like. Let's see. What did I miss here? So Philip says, do you have any experience of mobile DJing? What do you think about wedding DJing? The topic is getting me a bit confused. Some really hate it, some don't. It definitely does not matter what other people think. And Mixmaster G jumped in. Wedding DJs are legit DJs, but it's a special craft that requires knowledge of local wedding party procedures. Yes, I have the utmost respect for mobile DJs / wedding DJs. It is something totally different than what club DJs do, and it actually takes a lot more work. And wedding DJs, mobile DJs have to be on a much more professional level compared to club DJs because they have to do a lot more. Also, when it comes to like communication with clients, they're not talking to some booker. Most of the time, they have to have direct communication with either a wedding planner or the people who are getting married. It is a very special ceremony where you do not want to mess up. That comes with a lot of special procedures, especially like Mixmaster G already mentioned. And you have to take a lot of those things into consideration. A lot of times, you might also be the one who has to MC at certain points, make certain announcements, introduce the new married couple, the first dance. There's a lot of things that come into play. Plus, you're playing for a diverse type of crowd. You have to be very diverse in your music knowledge and selection. A lot of times you have to bring and set up all of the equipment. I have a ton of respect for them. It's just not something I want to do. I played a couple of weddings, but those were weddings where the couple specifically wanted me because they used to come to my parties. And I've done like 2 or 3 weddings, and in all of those weddings, that was the case. They wanted me for me, so I didn't have to adjust to anything like that, and I didn't have to handle a lot of those extra procedures that normally wedding DJs have to handle. So there was an MC present who was doing all of that. The last wedding I did play outside first, where they had like their first basic like pre-party. Then they had the actual ceremony inside. Then I had to get ready on a different set. Then when the whole ceremony was done, that's when like the after party reception began. And I got to play my New Jack Swing hip hop R&B set. Then I'm all good. But once you get into that territory of what mobile DJs normally will have, and they have to play a bunch of different tunes, that's just not what I'm built for. And that's a conscious decision. So it is definitely 100% a legit DJ. A lot of respect for them. That's my thoughts. I use DJ Henry to trick out my turntables. Cool. Does he have a website? What does he do? Like the thing with 12-inch skins is they don't trick out your turntables. It's basically just they offer like skins. They offer like ways that you can customize your turntables by putting a skin on top of your mixer, on top of your laptop, a deck plate on top of your turntable. They do also do like custom labels. So I had like custom labels on my vinyl. And after that, like 2 or 3 years after I did that, they came out with like the actual custom vinyl where you can have your vinyl designed as well. So yeah, that's dope. Wood chip, you got the S11. Nice. And you got the 707. That's dope as well. Yeah, Vinyl Touch, like I said, it really comes down to workflow because they both offer you the same thing. They're very similar when you see them as well. I just really prefer the way it works on the Pioneer. And it's not a big difference either, but it is a little difference, and I can tell which one I prefer. Okay, so I got the IG questions in. That's perfect. We already passed the 3-hour mark, so I'm about to wrap this up. Let's see what else. How do you go about filling in any holes in your back catalog? Yeah, that all depends on if I run into anything that I feel I'm missing. I mean, there's different ways. I mean, if you find out that there's one track you're missing and you know that you can just get it online and buy it, you can go buy it. I'm in a position where I could actually ask a couple of my colleagues, because there are certain colleagues that I work with that I've always shared music with. Something I don't do with a lot of DJs, but there are certain DJs that I can honestly say that we swapped out our entire collections, like, because we were always playing together. And I mean, that's the DJ I was playing with in teams for years. So that's an option. Certain, you could also look at like if it's like older and it's available like for cheap on CDs, and just rip those CDs. I don't really have enough time to really go into that because there's definitely tracks that are missing from my collection. I just can't think of them now. Christopher, what's going on? All right. I have to hydrate. That's I can feel it. Like my throat is just dry. After the 3 hours. So yeah, that's it. All right. I want to say this once again for people who tuned in later. And okay, I'm going to check that on YouTube. Nice. For my YouTube people, once again, because of the fact that I'm getting a different type of messaging from YouTube, I will no longer do live mixes on YouTube. So my Share the Knowledge live stream, that will be here on YouTube. I'm starting a new live session thing as well, based on me looking at different software. That's going to be on YouTube as well. But mixes with music will no longer happen on YouTube. So if you want to check out those live sessions, those live mix sessions, you have to come check me out on Mixcloud or Twitch or Periscope. The last time I got a clear message on screen when they cut the stream and when they started about policy violations, I was like, okay, I'm done. Not risking my YouTube channel. I mean, this channel has been here since 2011. Like I said, 166,000 subscribers on that channel, 450 plus videos. Never in my life is that worth risking over a live stream that you can also catch on other platforms. So I will continue to push that because I know for a lot of people on YouTube, I understand that it's a comfort thing. You have the YouTube. YouTube is your go-to platform. You follow me on YouTube. You'll get that notification as soon as I go live there. I understand. So I see why a lot of you would not want to switch. But in this case, I'm not leaving you an option. So if you want to continue to check my live mixes, and I would love to have all of you there, come check me out on Mixcloud and on Twitch, Mixcloud, Twitch, or Periscope. That is that. But like I said, I need to just continue saying that for my YouTube peeps. Also, spread the word if you can. The boy debating on either M600M and a Denon turntable, or just two Denon turntables to my 5000 setup. Whoa. So wait, you now have a 5000 setup already? I agree with Mixmaster G here. You should definitely try that 6000M out first. But the same thing applies like when people were asking if I would choose turntables or a Rain 12, you will run into the same issue with the 6000M. It is a dope controller, but you cannot play vinyl on it. So if vinyl is something you also want to dip into, turntables are basically the way to go. That's that. Even though, I mean, I really like the 5000M. I have one here. I never tried a 6000. It's dope, but I wouldn't choose it over a turntable though. And Mixmaster G talked about that last time, about the nudging using the vinyl is not what you would hope for. So you should definitely really try them out. And otherwise go for turntables, 100%. Yes, sir. Wood chip, dope. That's dope. Appreciate that. And Cole, thanks for the follow. Yeah, man, that is that. So yeah, so the 6000M, Mixmaster G says it's great for scratching, but like if you're trying to use it for mixing, that might then be an issue. Maybe it's something you can get used to, but if you're gonna make a choice, I mean, yeah, if it doesn't feel right for you either, you probably won't like it. So you should definitely test it. I haven't tried them before, so I can't really comment on that. So I'm really glad once again that we have people in the chat who can just jump in and share that knowledge and let us know what is going on. Right. All right. So you have two 5,000. I mean, if you have two 5,000s already, I would personally go for turntables. Then you have basically a best of both worlds. You have a nice set of 5,000s for your media player and a turntable set for that turntable setup. I think that would be the way to go. Let's see. Going the right way, I'm going the wrong way here. No, I'm going the wrong way. Hold up. So Madden is my one. Thank you. And Janul, thank you. Shredder Chris, I think I saw you already. Desired Admired, thank you for following. All of you, thanks for following. Okay, see, and I saw one person who said I subscribed, and I definitely do not see a subscription here. So maybe you were talking about another platform, or you were just joking. Whichever the case may be, it is all good. Yeah. Quick question. I watched you for a few years already. When are the best times to ask questions, either through live stream, email? Also, what do you enjoy most about being a DJ? Well, this is always a great place for questions. And besides here, share the knowledge at djtlm.com. Share the knowledge at djtlm.com. That is basically the email for questions. Instagram, the DMs also works. So yeah, all of those things are cool. I mean, for some, I understand that asking a question in public is not a comfortable thing. That's why I always invite people to like do it through email then. So yeah, all good. And what do I enjoy most about being a DJ? I mean, I just fell in love with the fact that I could play music I like and also manipulate it. So I mean, I remember when I was young, before I had like an actual turntable set, but I was buying vinyl because that was how we bought music. At a certain point, I connected two turntables together, and they didn't have pitch or anything, but I was able to play an instrumental on one track and an a cappella of the other, and luckily those two were roughly the same BPM. The first time that happened and I was able to create a new thing, I mean, that was basically just a mashup. First time I heard that, I lost it. Now, besides that, turntablism is really a thing, like scratching, backspinning. I just absolutely love the feeling it gives me. Now, besides that, yes, I really enjoy the energy I can get back from a crowd, live or through a live stream. But at the end of the day, just being able to play music I love and manipulate it is the thing that I love most. So that's why even if I never DJ in front of people again, I would still be DJing here, because it is just something that brings me joy. That's, I think, the best way to say it. Rookie, the Rain 12s are worth it. I mean, if you're looking for a controller with moving platters, then they're super dope. It's as simple as that. Then they are super dope. Do they feel like turntables? They come pretty close. They feel really dope. So if that's what you're looking for, lovely. If you even think that you might want to also play real vinyl, then you need turntables. DJ Tando, yes, that video is a video that I've been wanting to do, and I will do it very soon, because I enjoy talking about that device, but I do receive a lot of questions about it, and right now the only thing I can do is actually explain it every time, because I haven't made the video yet. So an A10 Mini Pro video is coming in. In that video, I'll also talk about just the A10 Mini and the A10 Mini Pro ISO that are also available. But yes, that video. There's a couple of videos on my list that I need to make soon. Just a lot of stuff happening. I was working on a video about my PC that I built. I still need to finish shooting that and editing that. So my new PC, my A10 Mini Pro, my Rodecaster Pro, my new audio interface, my Apollo Solo, my Big Knob Passive, a lot of just all of the new studio gear I need to talk about and need to make videos about 100%. So that is something I need to do 100%. Nine Iron, I see you. Thank you. I love DJing because of being able to express the music I enjoy and able to create by manipulation. Yeah, 100%. I agree. I agree. What else? DJ Raul. I started looking at production, but DJ gear and software are so good now, you don't necessarily have to go down the producer route. Well, it all depends on what you want. I mean, if you enjoy making music, then that's also dope. I mean, I like making beats. I enjoy making music. I'm really exploring like all of the new stuff. I mean, I still use Machine, but now I'm looking at all of the new plugins that are here. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Wait, how did I get back? Or, Kane, why did you repeat the question, bro? Ik heb je echt al een half uur geleden volgens mij antwoord gegeven. About 12-inch skins. I even showed the entire video. So did you hop out and come back in? Because it says here that you asked again 2 minutes ago. I'm trying to relearn how to scratch with my dominant hand on the fader this time. My left hand struggles and is stiff on the record. Any tips? No, I actually don't have tips. It's something I deal with myself. There's certain scratches I do with my right, certain scratches I do with my left. And I've never really gotten around to do it, to become truly ambidextrous and be able to do everything with both hands. I think the only real answer is just practicing it. So for instance, I can transform my ass off with my right hand on the fader, not with my left. But when I have my left hand on the fader, I can do flares. I mean, it's stupid. I should be able to do both, but I can't. So what I need to do is start transforming with that left hand. But that's the thing. You need to find the time to do that. Real quick, DJ Kane. Simpel samengevat, het is 8 jaar geleden. Dus ik heb geen idee hoe lang het heeft geduurd voordat het hier was. Ik weet het echt niet meer. En misschien zijn ze nu wel sneller of langzamer. And that's dope because most of you did not understand what I just told DJ Kane. And that's hog. Yeah, we going for it, man. We going in right now. It is what it is. I mean, this is what I like. I mean, it's cool. You ask me questions. I answer questions at the same time. I see people answering each other's questions. And I always tell people, I learn from the people because situations are different in different places. A lot of you will have experience with devices that I've never used. So that is, yeah, super cool for me as well. Even though I am not going to stay around for another hour, I'm still having a great time. I was about to cut it off, but yeah, when new questions come in, I definitely still want to handle those as well. I'm a bedroom DJ. What kind of speakers do I need? Here we go again. That's the only thing. What you can notice when people jump in later, they miss out on questions or topics that we actually covered while we were going at it. So Ballin Beltran, I actually told someone who was asking about it that I don't have the right answers for that, and a couple of different answers came up. Of course, KRK is always a good brand to look at. The PreSonus, was it the E5 Gus Gomez? I'm not sure. So you can either scroll back and check that, but there's a lot of things going on in the chat. Prodigy Sound says as well, PreSonus is my favorite. So I think it was the PreSonus 5E or E5, right? That was one of the speakers that was mentioned. So I don't have a specific recommendation for that though. DJ Roll asks, would you take requests sometime in the future? So for my crates live streams on Monday, no, most definitely not. That's just not what it is about. Like overall, and someone even mentioned it in the chat, like you don't tell a cook, you don't tell a chef what ingredients to put in the dish that the chef is making. And especially with crates is all about me doing what I want to do. And I'm freestyling, so I come up with what I do while I'm playing. I just want to go for what I'm doing and not have to think about requests. So no, I am doing another live stream, mixed live stream, a new one. But actually, I can already say, no, I'm not going to do requests there. If I was ever to do requests, I would actually do something that I would call like a request line, a request show, where it's like open season, and I'm gonna set my mind to that, and then I'll be like, hey, let's go. What do y'all want to hear? And have fun that way. But when I'm just there doing my thing, I want to do my thing. That's just what that is, 100%. More. What else? Do you have any other job besides DJing? And if you do have any other job besides DJing, what do you do to keep yourself busy nowadays? Now the clubs are closed. Well, Daniel, that's my thing. For the last year or two, I've been spending more time on content creation than on DJing, and that has been basically more of my main job than DJing. So I'm a DJ, so club DJ, festivals, you name it. I DJ for an artist, so whenever he has live shows, I'm there. That is basically all stopped. We did a couple of live shows for a tour, and the rest has been postponed until 2021. So DJ gigs are gone. All my video work, which is all work that I have gained over the years because of my YouTube channel, because I was making all this video content, I now have a lot of new jobs making video content for different companies. So for instance, one that you might have seen is DJ City. I've been working for DJ City for the last 5 years, and I produce video content for them. Also did a couple of events, like local events, DJ City events in the Netherlands, but I produce video content for DJ City. I produce video content for DJ Courses Online. I've produced video content for Algorithm and different brands. So that is my work, and that work continues. Now, YouTube itself is also partially income. It's not a lot, but every little bit helps. So video content creation is the bulk of my income, and now especially because DJing is not happening. That's most of it. Then every now and then I will get my residuals from productions, music productions that I've made. It's not a lot, but every now and then I will see like a little check or a little new addition to my bank account. Like, oh, okay, that's a statement from songs I've produced. So yeah, that's it. That has been my other job for a long, long time. Besides parenthood, that's like the number one job right there. But yeah, that's it. That is my other job. Right-handed, confident, I can cross-fade it with the left. Yeah, should truly reverse. Starting with left is uncomfortable. Yeah, I mean, you will have your confident and strong hands for certain things. Like I cannot do flares with my right hand on the fader. It just, it's not in there. I would have to like really start from the beginning, do it slow, do the slow clicks and the movements. And it takes time. It just takes time. So I've been comfortable the way I've been DJing for so long. And I know a lot of DJs that don't even have that, and they will do all of their scratches with that one hand. And if they have to do it on the other deck, they'll do that cross scratch, you know? So that happens. So it will take a lot of extra effort and time to now train ourselves to do it with the other hand as well. All right, real quick, a couple more. So Kane says the KRK Rocket 6. AC1 Music, what up? What do you recommend when 9,000 songs are missing in record box? Whoa, I hope Mixmaster, okay, there he is. I just wanted to say I hope Mixmaster G jumps in on this one, because I have no clue and he knows everything about this. By the way, anyone in this chat, if you want to know more about conversion, so doing your music collection from record box to Serato or to Tractor or Engine Prime, you name it, Mixmaster G is your guy. He has a conversion tool that can do all of those things, and he has a lot of knowledge about that stuff. Like really a crazy amount of knowledge about that stuff. So that is your guy right there. Jefferson Walters, aloha. No, not Record Buddy. Even though that works too, this is, I believe, more extensive than Record Buddy. It's different. Mixmaster G, I wanted to say DCU, but that's not the name, right? I don't want to mispronounce it. Yeah, that's it. The DJCU, DJ Conversion Utility. Thank you. That is a mouthful. That's the one. So, guys, you can look that up if you are looking for more info about that. In the real world, if my name is on the posters and the marquee outside, no request. If I'm at the pub club doing a night, I'll take requests. Yeah, I mean, but to each his own, definitely. Some people love it, enjoy it. Some people will play with requests and have a tip jar. To each his own. I just feel that it is a fact that it will take you out of your zone when people start to jump in with all sorts of requests. I've also mentioned that in certain cases, it can help you out. If you're playing in a club and you're not getting any reaction, you cannot read that crowd. Then sometimes if people come up with requests, it gives you a better understanding of what they want to hear. But that is in a club. When I'm doing a live stream, that's not me going to a club being booked to entertain the people there. When I'm doing a live stream, I'm here and people can come check me out if they want to, and I'm doing my thing. That's why I feel that requests don't have a place there. Unless you decide to like do, and I've seen DJs do that, like have like a request line, and then people will come into the stream and it's all about that. All right. I use platinum nodes before run. Okay, I'll let you guys. I'll let you guys sort that out. Philip, you want to know if I dig James Hype? I need to actually check some of those routines. I haven't. I've seen him come by, but I hardly ever check the routines. That is my thing. There's so much content that a lot of times I will just skip right by things. So I can't give you an opinion on that. I might take some time to actually look at a couple this week. Side hustle because the club's closed. I take my streaming gear and stream things for people. Funerals are popular. Oh, wow. Okay. I do know a couple of DJs who also like do paid streams for companies. So let's say like a certain bar that now is not able to be open, but they want to organize something for their clientele, or an actual different type of company that will then send it out to all of their people or through their social and just book a DJ to do that. So that's pretty cool as well. No, DJ Kane, right now I'm actually not even looking at that. So after Corona, most definitely I want to make sure that we get another DJ City DJ link up going on here again. But right now I see that as like a distant future. All right. AC1 Music. Nee, ik heb er 3 gedaan, als ik me niet vergis. The last one was definitely a couple of years ago, the last link up. I did one at the World of Food. I did one at Milky Way, and I think I'm missing one now. I did one at during Amsterdam dance event at damn, I forgot the name of the club. Yeah. So yeah, 3 at least. All right. Mixmaster G, no problem. Definitely no problem. I mean, you contribute a lot here as well. Like, I know you know about this stuff, and that's my thing. I'd rather have someone explain who knows more about it than me trying to stumble over words to explain it. All right. See, and now that they know, you're going to be their troubleshooting go-to guy. Okay, it was asked earlier, but where can I get your mixes again? No, I don't think that was asked before. Or maybe it was. My mixes, if you want to check the live mixes, like the video version of my live streams can be seen back on Periscope. All of the live mixes that I do, so the crates on Monday, you can find them on my Mixcloud. That's mixcloud.com/DJ TLM. I posted the mix from Monday is there as well now. That's episode 8 of Crates. So mixcloud.com/DJ TLM. That's where you can find all the audio versions of the mixes. If you want to see a replay of the live stream, you have to go to periscope.tv. Periscope.tv/DJ TLM, and then you can see it. So yeah, that works. Do you think DJs will live stream the DJ sets in the club when it opens, as streaming has become so big now? Yeah, that is definitely an option. I did it before all of this, but then I was doing it on Facebook and Periscope. Facebook does not kick me out every time, so I still have a couple up on Periscope. Yes, I will most definitely, when I go back to club gigs, I will see if I can do some cool things with just like streaming. Why not? I mean, quality-wise, it can be different. A lot of times you're going to do it through your phone. You won't have like an entire setup there, or you actually have to bring like a little streaming laptop and a capture card and the whole nine. But otherwise, from a phone, but then make sure that you connect something like an iRig so you can get good audio. I mean, why not? A lot of us are building like a fan base all over the globe. A lot of people won't be able to come see you in clubs, and that way you can share that with them. So I see that happening for sure. Okay, that's still you guys on that, so I'll leave you to that whole thing. Chat streams. What else? Can you make more scratching tutorials? Hopefully, not hopefully. I can, but that's going to take a while because there's a lot that I have planned before that. But yes, we got Jimbo in Stockholm now following. Salute, love Stockholm. Played there a couple of times as well. Beautiful city. That is definitely some time ago, by the way, that I was there, but it's dope. It's not that far from Amsterdam either. That's a quick plane ride to get there. Lethal Seaman, thank you for following. And what else? Daniel Peterson. Any advice on how to get my remixes up on SoundCloud without getting them taken down? Nope. Go for Mixcloud. Just go for Mixcloud. That SoundCloud is but wait, like your remixes, so you produced the song, but you got like an acapella in there. I mean, maybe you can slip through the radar, under the radar, I don't know. But I mean, SoundCloud, Mixcloud is just a better option to deal with things like that. Yeah. With most places, you're gonna run into copyright issues. When are you playing in my city, Copenhagen? There's nothing planned. Like, especially now, there's just nothing at all. I have actually not been there yet. I have not been to Denmark yet. So I've played in Stockholm multiple times. I've played in Oslo. but I have not been to Denmark yet. So that is definitely, I would love to play there as well. I like to go all over and play in different places, and there's definitely a ton of places I haven't been yet. Have you ever DJ'd anywhere in the Caribbean? Yeah. Aruba once, Curaçao a couple of times. Yeah. Salute to all my peeps and family over there. But not like many times, but a couple of times. Yo, Marlon, Monday was fun. Definitely. Yeah, so like I mean, I don't want to say like Stockholm and Copenhagen is the same. I mean, I know it's different countries, but I always loved the vibe in Stockholm. Oslo was dope too. So I want to say like the Scandinavian vibe is just dope. But yeah, Copenhagen, I would love to definitely come play there. And I'd love to go back to Stockholm as well. Played in a couple different clubs there, and always had a great time there. Like super dope vibe as well. I can clearly remember, like, I don't want to say crowds here were arrogant, but a little bit. Like they wouldn't just start dancing out of nowhere. Everyone always waiting until the club is full before they start to move. And I remember we were booked there to do like a hip hop R&B gig. And when we came up to the gig, it was still early. There was already like a line of people out there, but the combo was dope. You saw like dudes with saggy pants and Timberlands, and girls with like dope dresses and heels. So like the combo was already there. Like I saw a little bit of rugged and like stylish smooth. Then we got in, and like everyone's just dancing, having a good time. Not too many like flies on the wall, and great vibes. Got to play with we got to play before Sean Paul. He did a live show there. And what else was crazy there? I think we did one gig there, and was that with Pharrell? Damn. Yeah, I think that was Pharrell. He was there, and then that Nori joint was just out, and he came in the DJ booth and did the hook. Yeah, that must have been with Nori. Oh girl, I came to party. Your girl was looking at me. He did that hook. That's crazy. I'm mixing up a couple different gigs, but it was dope. Yeah, and the vest. I mean, Netherlands does have that a little bit, man. And I mean, you notice that as a DJ when you go to other countries. Like a lot of times, I felt that you were treated more like an artist in different countries compared to here. I mean, I always have great times at gigs, but I did kind of notice that like a lot of times here, they don't really treat you like an artist. It's not like I was looking for that, but then when you go to a different country and all of a sudden you feel like a different treatment, you feel like you're treated like an artist, and you're like, okay, I didn't know it could be like that as well. But yeah, that is a thing. Oh yeah, Bird in Rotterdam played there too. Dope spot. Debo wants to know, I'm pretty new, but I want to know if I should just start buying music or just have a subscription. Like, look, a DJ pool subscription is like a super cheap entry level way to get your hands on music. That's just a fact. They won't have everything. So if there's specific tracks that you want that you cannot find in a DJ pool's archive, then you can go out and buy that. I mean, there's tons of things you can do. There's also options where you can use a streaming service to use that inside your DJ software where you're not even buying and streaming. I would not depend on that totally, but there's a ton of different options out there. 100%. All right, let me see, because I still want to go ahead and go to my 72 and do the firmware thing. And I have to figure out what I'm going to eat. I haven't even eaten yet. So I think we're going to end this stream for today. I'll be back on Friday. Yes, this Friday. I'll be streaming live on Mixcloud and Twitch and Periscope from 9 CET. And that stream is going to be called Certified Bangers. I'm going to play like an hour or two and nothing but like bangers, high energy bangers. So I'll be promoting that as well, but you can check that out on Friday. So I'll be back on Friday with a Mixcloud, Twitch, Periscope. Then I'll be back on Sunday, and you can check that out everywhere. And that's going to be, I'm not sure, I'm probably calling it plugging it in. I'm going to be taking a look at a lot of the plugins I got, maybe go through a beat or beat process or something like that. I haven't even figured that out. I'm just going to have fun behind the computer looking at software, and if people want to check it with me, they can check it with me. And of course, on Monday, I'll be back with a Crates Mix show, Mixcloud, Twitch, Periscope. And next Wednesday, I'll be back here for Share the Knowledge Live. I want to thank y'all. I had a great time. I think a lot of y'all had. We've been hanging here for a long time. A lot of questions, a lot of answers. I see people connecting on here as well. That is dope. That is something I like to see. So yeah, while I say that, I'm going to make sure I'm going to add this right now on screen to give that first clear indication that we're about to end. And you can also see the schedule on screen here. Now, it is in my time. This is CET, the Central European time. So you have to figure out your time. For the people in LA, you are 9 hours behind us. For the people on the East Coast, like New York, you're like 6 hours behind us. But if you're somewhere in Asia, you're probably ahead. That is up to you to figure out. Kelly Kel, salute. Tech 9, salute to you. 9 Hour, Mixmaster G, Philip, Woodchip, all of you. Jefferson, I see all of you in here, and I'll see you soon. Wow, wifey is still watching as well, or did you just tune in for the beginning and end? So, all right, good day to all of you. Rookie, I see you. I'm gonna hit the fade to black on my A10 Mini Pro and leave you with a little bit of that schedule before I tune out. Jay Bourne, I see you as well. Andrew, I see you as well. So, peace. And now I'm still here, but you can't see me anymore. So there's the schedule for y'all. Vess, take care. So again, you can see right here. I haven't mentioned that on screen. This just shows you the schedule, but Crates on Monday. When it says music, it's not on YouTube. Music is only on Mixcloud, Twitch, and Periscope. Keep that in mind. Make sure all my YouTube people check me out. Join me on Mixcloud, Twitch, and check it there. For the chat shows, you can check those anywhere. So right now with the chat, I'm live on actually, the chat I'm not doing on Mixcloud, but I'm live on YouTube. I'm live on Facebook. As soon as LinkedIn goes through, I'll be live there. This is on Twitch. This is on Periscope. But just so you know, when it says music, I'm not on YouTube. So this Friday from 9, certified bangers. And then I'm back on Sunday. I call it plugging in. And that's going to be just me, software, beats, and all of that. All right. Southland, thank you for following, and join me next time. Peace.
What's up, y'all? This is Mos Def. You are now rocking with the best. TLM, more love, y'all.
Hey, yo, what up? It's your boy Lloyd Banks, and I'm hanging out right here with my homeboy TLM, the last Mohican, right here. You know how it goes down. Get money, yeah.
Evidence, our science, Sabu, and we are the Dilated People. Chilling with TLM, last Mohican. That's live and direct.
Yo, shut up. This Ice-T right now. You lounge with my motherfucking man, TLM. You know what I'm saying? Shit's all real, kid. Don't maybe come over to your house. What?
Yo, this is Foul Minds holding it down with my dog, TLM, the last Mohican. You know what I mean? All the way from Queens. We do it like this. Get the fuck up and listen to this tape. You know what I mean?